When life gives you lemons, make lemon-flavored napalm.
Excuse me?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cheap Seat Creative Podcast. Once again, today we are covering Thunder Force, and today I'm, as always, one of your hosts, a geeky writer.
I'm Crimson Maroon.
I'm a character called Sinister Boy.
And I'm Sprinks.
Yeah, this one it was a hectic one for this one in the back rooms, wasn't it, fellas?
Yeah. Now I know you said Thunder Force. Did you mean Thunder Force? I think that was the actual title. Was Thunder Force.
No. I think I got that one right,
I
unfortunately.
think got to say the name with passion, though.
If it's
Yeah.
Thunder
They
Force,
had
our
to.
YouTube end has
I-
a couple problems.
Yeah, I have a, yeah, I had a joke and it's gone. It's the tragedy of
Oh,
comedy.
I'm sorry.
Goes.
So sorry.
Fitting.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, there we go. I remembered it now. See, thank you. Yeah, I put about as much passion into their name as they put into writing this movie. So,
Ooh, shots fired
Shots
already.
fired.
gonna start
I'm
out
just
early here, fellas.
I'm just getting a notification that the entire writing team of Thunder Force has been laid off. Massive walkouts.
Oh, good.
Good.
Good news.
This is the best news I've heard all day.
And they're being replaced by the entire writing team of Ryan Johnson.
Is that an improvement? You know what? It'll look visually stunning. I'll take
There
that.
we go.
That is something. I do have, in a very Sprinks-like manner, I got some facts for once on this movie.
Ooh,
Wow.
I know.
You should have really liked this movie.
No,
Put the
I
effort
didn't.
in to look it up.
He put the effort in.
Well, it's nice that you learn something every day, and this is the portion where it helps some of the listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, facts are fun.
Yeah. So for those of you, these facts are listed under their IMDb trivia page, so you can probably go find them yourselves. Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer have been friends for 20 years in real life. A chemistry I did not see on screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
that
glad we agreed on that.
It kind of surprised me a little bit.
This is the young version of the main character is actually played by Melissa McCarthy's daughter.
The youngest or the second youngest?
The one where they're in high school.
Oh,
Okay, the
like
second version.
the second.
Yeah,
Okay.
the child version.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There are two versions of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is the high school version.
Okay.
Uh,
Not the college one.
this movie is written and directed by Melissa McCarthy's husband, uh, Ben Falcone. I honestly didn't know she was married until I read this.
Ben Falcone.
Why does that sound familiar?
I
He's a
have
crime boss.
Yeah,
obviously.
Oh, he did
Carmine
Tammy.
Falcone. Yeah.
That's right. He did Tammy. He did all of her movies.
Did you
Yeah,
do Spy?
I don't think so. Keep going. Look it up. He did not.
Identity Theft.
The Heat.
No, he did. He
So
did
many
Tammy,
McCarthy stuff.
Tammy, The Boss, Life of the Party, which I never even heard of. Super Intelligence. Thunder Force, and that's it. Everything else
Anything
doesn't
of
have.
note?
Wow, what
Yeah.
a wonderful
Well,
family movie.
And he produced The Happy Time Murders, which
Oh, great.
hey, you watch your mouth. That's a okay
I said, oh, great.
movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I said it was okay.
I haven't seen it.
We're gonna watch it, maybe. Anyways, let's go. More facts, please.
Yeah. Let's see. Jason Bateman and Octavia Spencer both starred in Zootopia. I think we can all agree that was a much better movie.
Haven't seen it.
I mean, it was
Yes,
better
it's a better
animated.
movie.
I am sure it probably is better. Yes.
Jason Bateman is a Capricorn in real life, similar to his character in the movie.
That was a surprise. Seeing Jason Bateman in this.
Yeah. Palm Clementine was Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually like her in Guardians, so it was weird to see her here.
That's who
For
she
me.
was. I was like, she looks so familiar, but I couldn't place her.
So
Yeah,
she was missing the antennae.
yeah,
And
it
the,
was,
and the black eyes.
yeah, it took me a while. I'm like, I spent like fair portion of the movie just wondering who she was until I broke down and finally looked her up because I knew her from somewhere. I just couldn't place from where. And yeah, as always, you can come find these for yourself on IMDb. Um,
The
and
premier
yeah,
web service for movies.
one of the
One
premier
of.
web
One
services,
of.
one of many. Uh, yeah, and always feel free to follow our socials on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, and Letterbox. You know, tell us in the comments how much you hate our opinions or how much you like them. With
Both
that,
equally valid.
yeah, both equally valid. And with that, I guess we can dive right into this movie. This is going to be popcorn structure, so feel free to jump to wherever you want.
Okay, who's got a strong early on thing they wanna go for? Do we have
Okay.
anything?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
all right. This went the route of Endgame. Any
Knew
guesses
you
to
were
what
gonna
I
say
mean
it.
by that?
Knew you were gonna say that.
Freaking Fortnite. What? That was painful. And the fact that they brought it up several times was,
It's just twice.
no,
Though I will
no, it
say,
wasn't.
well, okay, but they only really needed it twice. But one of
There was a lot of painful references in this movie.
There was.
Thinking on
I
it,
mean, because
I
it's
wrote down a few of them, so
was
we'll
this
get to them.
was this movie written by AI? Because that would make sense. Why there were so many
Insert reference
references.
here.
Yeah. No.
No,
Uh,
it's
I
just
I did love the Fortnite thing.
you loved it.
I loved it because of how shitty it was. I
Uh,
loved it because it was not only was the reference just like, oh, this is like a kid thing kids are into, so we have to reference it, but also that when they showed it, it wasn't good. Like the frame rate was all off because it was n- obviously it was not.
Fortnite Mobile.
Yeah, it was Fortnite Mobile, so it was like obviously bad, and they didn't even care enough to actually put effort in to make it look good, which was funny to me. But no, no, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, we're hip. We know Fortnite. She flosses at the end. Woohoo! Awesome. Love you, Fortnite. Hope your servers get shut down anytime.
Is
It'll
that
never
intrinsic
happen.
to Fortnite, or is that just intrinsic to like the ninja guy or whatever?
I mean, it came from the dance existed before, but popularized by Fortnite. Yeah,
Okay.
That's
as
just
far as
painful.
I'm aware.
Well, man, learn new stuff all the time.
Yeah. Sprinks, you got one?
Um, well, yeah, I guess it's a weird thing. At the beginning, Emily's parents die in a train by like green fire. Never told who has green fire power.
Thank you.
Never
Yeah,
comes up
I
again
assume.
who did it. It's especially since her whole thing pretty much throughout the movie is I'm doing this for my parents. It's for my parents and
Yeah.
never really gets touched on.
I don't want to steal your thunder. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Steal it by
Ah,
force.
hey,
Yeah.
that's a better
Steal your.
joke than the movie. Yeah, there we go.
But I have a similar thing. I think honestly, I think this would have been better if that had been. I mean, I know that's kind of cliche. Like, oh, they actually have to go after like the starter. You know,
I was
the trauma
expecting
thing.
the villain
Yeah.
to recur. Yeah, to make an
Yeah.
appearance at least, either like at the, to see either to sequel bait or actually be responsible for something that they have to deal with.
But no.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
they said, you know what? We're gonna go the road less traveled, and we're just gonna be juicy danglers about this, and just not even talk about it again.
it gets points for avoiding cliches. Points that I have to take away because it feels like wasted setup.
And there we go.
They
So
Evens
obviously
out.
wanted a sequel, so they could have explored it in that because Laser slash Mantis got away. So, who knows? I'm sure they'll never get that chance. I don't know when this came out. 2021 or something? No, not 2021. 20?
Yeah,
yeah,
20. I think it's
2021.
2020, 2019, around there.
It says 2021 on IMDb,
Oh,
but
wow.
I could be wrong. It was a straight to
Like,
streaming
it was
service movie, I
older.
think. So.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, it
Which I
Uh,
was
don't.
original.
I don't think they would have tried to get this an Oscar or something.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah. Even though Octavia Spencer did do a decent job, all things considered.
I guess I got one. I actually I'm gonna say this with 50 sets of quotation marks. I actually quite like the first 20 minutes of this film. In the outside the cringy jokes, I thought it was doing a good job, like character building for the most
Mm,
part. Um, except for one particular scene that was a huge red flag for me. It's a red flag that went nowhere, thankfully. But I was annoyed all the same. They made a pretty much a white kid bully named Wayne, and they put him in the
mhm.
dump, and they ordered him to go into the dumpster, which is where he belonged. And I couldn't tell if that was indicative of like the symbolism of what
There
they're
was
trying
some
to go for here.
subtext.
Yeah, I got a heavy dose of subtext here that I was annoyed by. It's like it's probably not a good idea to shit on better franchises that you're trying to emulate. Paying.
Um,
I don't want to go
yeah,
in the
I can't
trash.
say
That's
one
where
way
you
or
belong.
another on that.
It was done enough in a way that like it wasn't directly an insult, but you could definitely see the symbolism if you choose to see it. So I that's why
Mm,
I was still annoyed by it in that regard.
I agree with you with the growing up with them parts of the beginning. I guess the childhood stuff. Um, you got a good understanding of their characteristics really quickly.
mm.
Uh, I would argue a little too quickly. Not the gilding the characteristics, but the way they became friends felt not natural to me. Uh, with how fast it went,
Yeah, I mean, it's
conversation
just
on the
like,
swing,
yeah.
and all that stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so good on the characterization. I think they blew by it way too fast to build it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
weird 'cause this is like a almost a 2-hour movie, and I feel like that, like, they just, like, really raced into a bunch of stuff. I don't know. It's
yeah.
really weird.
I feel like because honestly, this is one of the few sections of the movie that I actually liked. I
Mhm,
actually thought they could have used another. They could have spent another couple minutes, like with them with building up the characters and stuff. Because like, like Crimson said, we get a good understanding of who they are and how they function more or less in the world and
mhm,
what their goals are, the dreams are, their aspirations, and then we get to see that contrasted with them as adults, which I also is included with that in that first 20 minutes that I mentioned. While it moves fast, it does do a serviceable job in at least placating us into who these characters are. And I think it's everything after the 20-minute mark that I started to dislike. So
um, oh, we're
Springs, what
still
are your
on it.
thoughts?
Oh, no,
Oh,
you yeah. No, 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 it's Springsteen. Take it.
Springs, your thoughts on this? I guess beginning childhood bit.
Um, I have a couple. The fact that they were fighting by a trash can or a dumpster, just it was a set piece to use. It could have, occurred anywhere. I mean, especially during recess, anywhere in it. But they used it for that, so it felt more forced in that way. Um,
also, sorry, not to interrupt you, but I'm just gonna piggyback off on to make a quick point. Like it also was like in the center of where everyone was playing, which felt a little weird.
Yeah, it wasn't in like little alcove
Yeah, I don't
in the
know
back or
about you
something.
guys, but when I was a kid, we did not play that close to the dumpster at our
Yeah.
school.
Sorry, Springs. Go
Yeah.
continue.
no, it's fine. A clear fake punch thrown that was not good.
It was the
Um,
best choreographed thing in the movie. What are you talking about?
I kind of just put that on kid actors, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
It could have been camera work. They could have gone a different angle to make it look
one of the first
more
jokes that
legit.
hit me was the reading joke, very flat. The long pause of Lydia's character just did not help.
Uh,
That was a
Uh,
joke.
yeah.
oh, you were serious? Oh.
And then I guess before the title card to adults, when Emily goes downstairs because she's late and slept in, Lydia was right behind her, and I don't think any possible way she got there as fast as Emily did out the door.
Mhm. Yeah,
uh,
sure.
that's
I
fair.
guess that's
Yeah,
all right.
considering she was just coming to and waking up, that's probably a fair assumption.
I mean, my issue with the whole sleeping in was someone that like pinpointed on their goals in life and get homework and all that stuff would have an alarm clock. 'Cause I'm pretty sure alarm clocks existed in the 80s, but I wasn't alive during that time. But I'm pretty sure the alarm clocks were a thing. Um, so I feel like she would have had an alarm clock and would have set it.
But it just shows you how tired she was from all that studying.
Nah,
Nah,
no, she would have had an alarm.
she
Did
did.
anyone
It
else?
just didn't. It wasn't loud. It was really quiet. Didn't you hear it? It went meh,
Did
meh,
anyone else get
meh.
annoyed with the AC/DC as a music
The
choice?
after, well, I didn't. I liked it, but I was a little bit annoyed that they were really hammering on like Van Halen and like metal or or hard rock or whatever. I don't know.
Just because
Popular
Tony
music.
Stark can do it doesn't mean you can. Just
Yeah. So while I thought it was like okay because I like AC/DC, but
yeah.
I was like I like 2 3 minutes ago they were talking about going to see a Van Halen concert and you're playing AC/DC. You should be playing Van Halen if you can afford it, which you probably can if you can afford AC/DC. You can afford Van Halen. I'm sorry because I think of it. I think AC/DC is a little bit more in demand than Van Halen.
hmm
Um, so I was a little, that miffed me a little bit, but I thought it was fine overall.
Gotta defer to you, Music Man.
I mean, yeah, I think Van Halen would have fit a little bit better. Like AC/DC is kind of like actiony, and this there's really not that much action going on in this movie.
I
hmm
believe it was used to fit uh, opposites attract simulation of Lydia and Emily, and
Mm,
how Emily, it didn't really show much of her music until I guess later when she was adult, but just the differences in the two of them, but still friends. I think that's why it was
yeah,
used. And the
Emily's
movie
more into
does,
adult contemporary.
yeah, the movie does focus more on Lydia than it does on Emily.
Yeah. Uh, uh, I it had a bit of just a realization right now. I realized why I was kind of annoyed about this movie. I had a very undertone of annoyance. Is that it reminded me of bad Bumblebee fan fiction from the Ruby fandom.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Interesting.
about like the movie
Mm,
Bumblebee.
so that's why I specified Ruby. I get the
Yeah, yeah,
confusion.
yeah. I was like, for a second, I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Um, one neat character bit that I liked was
yeah.
Lydia going back to fix the angel that got shot by laser when she was driving by. It was very weird characterization, but
What the
I kind of
fuck?
liked the I kind of liked that Lydia came back to actually fix the statue that they broke with duct tape, mind you. But
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that would be kind of a little bit of a reoccurring
That's what I thought
thing,
was going to
yeah,
happen.
I like
because she also talked about like the diner giving, like, fixing that guy's,
yeah.
door or window or whatever. Yeah,
I thought the payoff to this setup right here would have been her, retrieving the bus that she threw, fixing the damage or whatever.
yeah,
'Cause it is a neat character trait that they just kind of drop.
yeah. One. Well, we're still kind of in the early part of this. One positive that I want to point out is I like the backstory of the miscreants. I like that. That's an interesting it's an interesting idea having like I know it sounds probably like some freaking deviant art or some or that they're internet idea of like, oh well, what if somebody got superpowers but it was only like the insane like evil people, but it's like actually that's not a bad idea. That's actually an interesting idea. Like the Red Sun story arc with Superman where
The
like it's
injustice
the
kind of thing.
well yeah like where it's like well that too but yeah the Red Sun thing where he's it's the exact same story of Superman but he's in Russia instead of America, so his value system is just a little bit different.
Yeah,
Put it
I'm trying
put it mildly.
trying to remember. Springs, you can help me out here. The Justice Lords weren't villains, right? They were just totalitarian heroes.
Um, Ye
Like the Justice League, sorry,
I
but
think
like
they were
the
like
Justice
no,
Lords.
actually, I'll let
Injustice
that
turned into the, what was it? I wanna say Resurgence, that's not it. It's the
the
Regime
regime.
and the other side, but it was
Insurgent.
Insurgent, thank you, Crimson.
Okay.
Insurgent and the Regime, and it was a mix of Justice League members of heroes and villains choosing a side of whether or not it was fine to kill or not, essentially, because Superman kills Joker.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
I mean, I think like with the Justice Lords, they're heroes, in the same way that like the mafia are heroes for protecting your store from themselves.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the Justice Lords are a storyline from the animated Justice League movie or Justice League show that was up in the early 2000s. They would like all wore like the white uniforms and stuff like that. I was trying to. I don't think they
Mm.
qualify as villains, but
I
I
mean,
was
they're
trying
yeah,
to
that's
mentally
like
make
a
a comparison.
yeah, that's like a moral difference, I guess, because they are because technically in their world they're heroes, but in
Yeah,
our world they're
but
villains.
they're
Yeah,
they're totalitarian. I think
yeah,
is how they
that's the
were.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's. But I like that idea of like just having a bunch of basically sociopaths are the only people that actually get superpowers, and and I guess it's kind of like a more current and popular thing, like The Boys. That's sort of basically the same thing there, where the superheroes or quote unquote superheroes are just like fucking frat boys and stuff who just like create a lot of damage and don't actually do anything.
Yeah, I actually quite uh not to get too off topic, we'll get back to
Mm,
Thunder Force, but this is kind of a bit of a rabbit hole, so you have to make comparisons anyway. The boys are the Amazon is this is the Amazon show, and it's an interesting show because I think it's like a what would heroes be in real life? Like they take the kind of
yes,
the jokes like of sponsorship and stuff that we find in
like
oh
sports and
Fantastic Four.
I was gonna say the Ben Stiller
oh
the
oh yeah, Tropic Thunder.
no, not
Oh,
Tropic Thunder. Oh, I don't remember. It's got Ben Stiller. It's got he's a superhero in a he's got like a team of superheroes.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, Mystery League or some.
Mystery yeah, something mystery.
This is gonna get cut out because we're
Yeah,
just
no,
kind
no.
of.
Anyways, but it kind of reminded me of like taking that to the nth degree with the boys, where they have a very realistic take on superheroes, and in the sense that they're normal people, and as normal people do, they constantly fuck up. Um,
Mystery Men. That was the title.
yeah, Mystery Men. Thank you. And then that to kind of pull this back to Thunder Force a bit, I was kind of expecting with the whole idea that like the villains being the only ones to get superpowers in this world, I was kind of expecting like a Legion of Doom to have already existed, whereas like the one of the main plot points of this film was they are they're only just getting unionized, as the mayor puts it,
For
or
20 years.
the prospective mayor puts it in
Hmm.
after 20 something years, which is I think that's too much of a time jump for me. In that I think the villains would have gotten the idea to band together a lot earlier.
See, I kind of agree with you, but also I, kind of how they set, or at least how they in the movie kind of set up these people who are miscreants and all that stuff. Which okay name by the way, could have been better, could have been worse. I don't see them like, but granted, I agree with you in the sense that I think they'd be smart enough to realize that they can do more together, but also with the idea that they're all sociopaths, they would have like really no like actual like core allegiance to anybody. It would all be
Yeah,
backstabbing.
I'm
I
out for
think it would.
themselves kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I guess that my that could, I guess it's not necessarily a flaw. It just stems from my curiosity as to how the
yeah.
world functions. Because there's got to be. some groups that work together more regularly, as we kind of see in the film. But again, we're kind of solely focused on Chicago. It feels like
Mhm.
maybe that's what they'll do for a sequel. They'll go for a different city.
Well, that was their plan. They were like, No one in Chicago who's a supervillain would ever work with another supervillain. It's all out for themselves," kind of thing.
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know, but oh yeah,
Or-
I like the kernel of an idea they had starting this movie. I don't think they delivered on it quite enough, but I think they, again, I think I've said it with a bunch of these uh bad movies that we've ended up seeing that there's always a kernel of an idea that's good.
Mhm. Crimson, you got something?
Oh, do I? I probably do. I'll bring up the convenience store, gas station store, whatever it was, with the
Convenience
crab.
store. The who?
Uh, the crab, Jimmy or Jerry or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I don't
Jerry.
remember it. He's the crab man.
I just call him
Yeah.
Crab Booth.
Uh, he was a he's a great character. Yeah, I liked him here. Well, great's a little strong, but he was a good character.
He
Um,
he definitely says the most jokes that I like in this movie.
yeah,
Well, because he's doing the classic Jason Bateman everyman while also being kind of like a little bit of a naughty boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And during the
Dude,
scene, it was really irritating me how they kept talking to each other out loud, and no one else was really acknowledging them talking much. I think there was one time where they're like, "Did you
No,
hear that?"
there was like two or three, but
what
it
do you
should have
mean?
been
Oh,
more
you mean
obvious than just like
when she was
Yeah.
a villain or whatever, or
When,
when she was invisible?
yeah, when they were in different aisles and she was invisible.
Yeah, that was a bit annoying.
Yeah, it was bugging me.
fucking you.
While we're here, do we want to talk about the dance scene that we got?
That was way too long.
Painfully young,
That was
yeah.
unnecessary.
I
uh,
disagree. I actually liked the dance.
Oh, of course you do.
It,
Of
it was
course
so
you do.
random, but I'll take an hour of that opposed to an hour of the rest of this movie. Okay?
I
yeah, no,
think
I
it's
would much
the
rather have gone see a ballet too.
No,
wasn't a ballet.
I quite
It was
I thought it was actually kind of funny. I liked his hair
Did he
and
put like
stuff,
a what was it?
like a
He put
mullet.
parsley in his mouth instead of roses or
Oh
something
yeah, because he's a crab.
because he's a
Yeah.
crab. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay,
s-
hold on. I want to before we get away from this.
all right.
I want to know what Sprinks thought about the crab man.
Overall,
Yeah.
uh, he was a good gimmick for a henchman. He wasn't all too powerful, but he had, a standout thing about him that makes him stand out,
Hmm.
other than just being Jason Bateman. Um, but yeah, I think it was fine. It showed that he kind of wanted to get out because of his connection with Lydia, but this is kind of how he's been, and every miscreant is treated. There's no superhero miscreant. So I thought, yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Crimson. He's a fine, okay character.
Uh, the way
You
he
think of
got
the
his
dance.
powers, a bit weird. Because
That's just classic gross out comedy,
the
man.
the thing that gave him everybody superpowers was a radioactive beam from space. I think, right? It was radioactive something that came from space. So the only thing I could infer was the crab was a sociopath and pinched him in his nether regions. Uh,
Nether region.
so I don't know, little weird how he became to be a half Korean or whatever it's called.
Man, if
Half
that's what
Korean.
happened when the frickin' crab bit his junk, imagine what would happen if he bit his head or something.
Well, it never
And
I mean,
good
shows what he looks like down
prosthetics.
there.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like
That's true.
they were yeah, they only I as he wore short sleeves, I think it's just his arms. Like I don't think
It goes
it's
up to his shoulders. Is the furthest we see, I guess.
yeah, because he wears this shirt. Yeah, so because well, I guess then he wouldn't. Uh, I don't know. It's I don't think I want to know any more than I already know about what he
Yeah,
looks like.
we're gonna get into territory of world building that we really don't want answers to.
Yeah. So
uh,
fair
yeah.
enough.
You got a point you want to bring up?
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay, you cut out in the end there. I thought you might have said spring. Um,
My
yeah.
apologies.
No, you're good. Yeah, let's see. I thought that frickin' Clyde from high school was gonna be a little bit more of a reoccurring character,
Same.
and I
Yeah,
kind of would have liked it if he was.
I don't remember the name of the character from the Suicide Squad that was just appeared there, like was with them and on the final mission and died.
Oh,
And they,
it's like Dave or something.
yeah, that's what I thought they would do to Clyde.
You gotta
but
tell a
yeah,
joke.
I
But no, he was just there to burn time
Did
yeah,
any?
to say a lame joke.
I thought his
Uh,
characterization with the brief time that we had him was fine. I just expected they would do more with him because they used him to burn up time.
well, yeah, because I, they featured him in like the flashback beginning, which you know,
Knock
again, it's
knock.
like a yeah. Okay, serious question though. Did anybody figure out what the actual punchline of the jokes was supposed to be?
Not the first one.
Yeah, the
Nope.
The
first one I
owl
think.
one is knock knock. Who's there? Who, or whatever, right?
Okay.
The owl thing.
See that one, I was like, I think I had it when they first started it, when when he screwed up. But then he got so deep into it that I couldn't figure it out anymore, like what the punchline was supposed
Like
to
it's
be.
straight away from what you thought it was, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Wait, maybe I'm. Yeah. So no, I kind of wish. Granted, both of his instances were probably like I think if it had been throughout the whole movie, it probably would have gotten old, maybe. But at least like those two instances, there were like some of like the actually like somewhat funny moments that I had in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the movie got a couple chuckles out of me. Wasn't worth my investment though, in terms of the time.
Yeah.
Uh, Sprigs.
Um, I'll go with the part that made me facepalm. Or one of the parts that made me facepalm. Frank's rock skipping salmon thing. He was
I
trying to
like that.
explain. It got a little painful. He just needed to stop.
It's
I
Yeah,
way too long.
it was that was way too long, but the ballet that was perfect, huh?
Yeah.
No, I agree. It was funny like the first like minute of it, and then it went to like 2 and 3, and I was like, yeah, too much.
this needs to stop. Yeah. Uh,
For me, that happens a lot in this movie. There's a lot of like jokes that just keep going.
yeah.
Well,
That's
repetition's
most of
funny.
McCarthy humor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I, jumping a little bit ahead, but I'll bring it up.
Go on.
They walk into the her Lydia's sleeping quarters, and she's like, "Wow, it's like the cell in Battlestar Galactica." Having seen the show Battlestar Galactica multiple times, no, it fucking does not,
I
like at all.
So
I
yeah,
wrote
they just
that.
Does it look like the cell from Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, I wrote this doesn't look like Battlestar Galactica. Thanks for the reference joke. It's so lame. They're just throwing references as we brought up, just because it's cool and hip. And Battlestar's not even cool and hip nowadays. It's like a forgotten niche. It's not even a popular thing anymore.
Yeah,
it's
it's got
popular
a
for like the 15 fans that still watch it. Two of you guys, yeah.
one of us. I'm the fan, and I go to count Crimson as a fan.
I haven't
Uh,
finished the show yet.
Crimson,
yeah.
you don't like Frack? Come on, man. You gotta love Frack.
Yeah, frack off.
Frack you, frack off.
uh, welcome to the team.
Yeah.
So I got another one. So when we are at the what is it called? The reunion at the beginning, but we're also introduced to some characters on television. The mayor. Um,
Yep.
The mayor to be, yeah.
one
He's
of the
a
mayor,
king.
one of the productive candidates.
Hmm.
I wrote down.
Don't you say it.
Yeah, I wrote down exactly. Laser attacked the king, quote unquote, and missed their shot. So the king is probably a bad guy, and Laser works. I wrote
I
this.
told you not to say it.
I wrote this during that scene. uh, and I think my prediction worked out really well. Um,
I mean, I think pretty much anybody with a functioning brain figured out uh, the king was not a good guy before the reveal. I don't know. The
Yeah.
Brinks and Sinister, did you figure that out?
Yeah.
Not immediately.
Oh.
yeah, you don't need to. I'm saying,
Oh,
did you
eventually
figure it
you
out
did, I
before the
guess.
Well, now
reveal?
they
Yeah,
I hope
When
they
did it
don't feel
click?
really
I
yeah,
just knew with the name of the king in a world with heroes and villains that he had to have powers.
fair.
That's
that's
what I
fair.
know. He wasn't just like a nobody kind of thing. If he
Yes,
just used his normal name without the king in it, I think it would have been a bigger, or I guess a somewhat of a surprise. But since he constantly wanted to be called a nickname, just sounded
the
like a
king.
yeah.
Yeah, in the way that Captain Jack Sparrow. It's what it kind of felt like with him correcting everybody constantly. Only
Yeah.
less charismatic and less charming than Johnny Depp could ever pull off.
Yeah, you gotta take the rough with the smooth on that one.
um,
Um, Speaking of the king, this was something that kind of about halfway through the movie, it kind of dawned on me, and it because there was something that I was just like because I like Bobby Cannavale who plays him, and
mhm.
I was like I don't really like this. Why do I not really like this? And I was trying to figure it out, and it clicked for me. Oh, he's he's being funny, but he's not being funny in like a scary way where like he's trying to be like charismatic. They're just writing him to be funny, and it's not working because now I'm not scared of him, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't
He,
walk. They didn't walk the line of like how good comedies can still make you afraid, cry, and stuff like that. They
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
walk that
yeah,
line.
yeah. Because you can write like a scary guy to be like funny or like but still be intimidating and all that stuff because but it's like no, this is too they've gone too far. He's just like I don't feel he's too goofy. Like it's not realistic anymore. It's just like you know
Yeah, I mean,
yeah
case in point example for that would be Darth Vader. It's not Star Wars is not really a comedy, but he
mm,
has a few comedic lines. It's Darth Vader.
yeah
He's like, "Apology accepted, Captain Nita." You know, so one of the case in points for that would be like, yeah, you totally can do
yeah.
write both. Um,
I mean, look at the Joker. He's funny. I mean, and he's intimidating.
that's true. I can't disagree with
Depending
that.
on which version you're talking about. Leto,
Oh, that one's just
Not
he
funny.
was
that
not
was just
intimidating
gross.
in that.
That's just gross.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think most Jokers have good jokes, like they're funny, but like Leto really walked the line of like intimidation while also having some comedic lines. Because I think Mark Hamill's
Uh,
Joker was less intimidating, but more funny.
That's because it was like
In
the
a
He's a
more
voice. Yeah.
cartoon.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
So it's hard
cartoon.
to. But yeah, real life. Yeah, the real life versions. I think. I mean, Heath Ledger's Joker has some like kind of funny moments.
Want to know how I got these
He's far
scars?
more
Yeah
intimidating.
yeah
He's far more intimidating. He's definitely not supposed to be like funny and intimidating. He's supposed to be intimidating. It's also
Yeah,
funny, but
and I
at
think
times.
Jack Nicholson was more funny than intimidating.
Yeah, and he was funny looking too, which didn't help him.
yeah.
But yeah, so you can definitely do funny and have a villain, or
Yeah.
have a villain be funny.
kind of
But
kind of
yeah,
talk about the cliche, I guess, with the king because he kills one of his henchmen. I always find this very very boring uh, as a writer. And for me, obviously, I understand the tool that it is, but I think it's very lazy. That like when a villain kills his own henchman, and you're like, oh, he's the bad guy. Can you see, audience? Can you tell?
mm,
Feels like someone sticking a needle in my brain. It's like, yeah, I can see it. Because
Or in your
they
But
didn't
but
shoes.
really.
Kenny,
Actually, I wasn't talking about Kenny. I was talking about the guy he
the
hugged and
first guy,
accidentally
yeah,
killed. Yeah.
I don't. Who was
That
that
was
guy? I
not an
don't think
accident.
they.
Yeah. No,
he
he says it
claims it
was.
was.
He claims it was. I obviously don't think it was either. It's just,
No, I think he was. I think he said the accent. I think he said the accent was Kenny.
yeah.
I don't know. That was a continuity on this one. Kind of wasn't really that good.
Yeah, I don't think they cared much about continuity either. Uh, Crimson, you gotta.
Sure. So when Lydia
Have you met
meets up
Lydia?
with Emily for the first time at going to her to the reunion thing. And she's like, "Don't touch anything." Okay,
Oh
and then she
god.
touches everything, of course. And she triggers the the system, I guess.
Oh,
Somehow, what security? Incredible security. You don't have to do any typing, no overrides, no nothing.
well, it's
She
her
just
it's
Did
her
everyone
office.
else did everyone else find the scene absolutely painful? Because I did.
Yes.
ah, it hurts. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, it was horrible. And each time they kept doing the same joke, it got more and more cringe somehow.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Got any more to add on that scene, Springs?
Um, her touching like the lamp and the vials, it's like, okay, you're just trying to entertain yourself. Especially, I do think she's drunk. That was a thought in my mind from um the
Is she-
the party
So hard to
at the
tell.
oh yeah,
bar
she showed up in the
to
taxi, didn't she? Right?
I don't recall. I just know she was at the or like the front desk,
Yeah.
and she was like talking loudly to get her voice picked up on the phone, and that's when I went, okay, she's drunk. Otherwise, she would have been probably patient. And then when she got up top, she seemed pretty understanding of what was going on around her. So by the time she got into the lab, I couldn't really tell where her intoxication was, if it's still present or not, or that's just her being a blumbering idiot. So the lamp and everything, that was fine. The
Yeah,
startup
a little
sequence
column A, a
just
little column B.
being a lever makes me think it was just shut off and it was prepped to go whenever Emily was ready for the test. Um, but yeah, there's no like nuke launch code. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
We
Well,
also a thing.
that would have kept her out pretty much.
no, the thing
I
that
like
bothered me was her just sitting in the chair thinking, "Oh, it's a massage."
I'm like, yeah, I got a note of that too because I'm like, you've been to a doctor, you've been to a dentist because it looks like more like a dentist chair, right? Not dumb.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was annoyed when she says, "Oh, I'm just gonna sit down here in a massage chair." I literally face
Mm.
palmed, and
Yeah, massage chair in the middle of the lab. Yeah.
this was not a fun movie to go through sober. Well, not most of these movies haven't been fun to go through sober.
What he
Yeah.
figured it out. Bad movies are not fun to go through sober. Who would have
Yeah,
guessed?
No.
Um, I I liked Jesse, the assistant
I
character.
felt bad for him.
Yeah,
She's kind of like a terrified him in a way.
I
Uh,
would I want a cold
yeah,
brewski.
I
That
want a
fucking
cold
scene.
beer.
Yeah. Oh
See,
sure, yeah, okay.
it was your scene, Crimson. Did you have anything else you want to specifically talk about it?
Um, no, just point out how dumb it is. I guess the
Didn't you
injection
like that her
machine,
face
it's
swell up?
hilarious. Did you guys laugh? Um,
Not at
no,
all.
Classic gross out comedy, man.
the injection machine, each time it came up, the second time it came up, it was in a little robot. Uh, why?
Because
Obviously,
it
it's
has to be
because it's
different.
supposed to be funny. She wasn't expecting that.
You,
Um,
I will say the only thing I liked about the scene is you could see the robot coming up behind her. I did find that was the only like amusing part of the scene for me, but it didn't get me to smile, fortunately.
and then on day 8 or whatever, injection in the chest.
The top
Uh,
pause.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Very
Why was it in
funny.
my boobs?
Very funny. I had to wipe the tears off from the laughter. No sarcasm at all in that statement. Not one shred of. I don't know. Just. I don't know.
You're gonna get, you
Sprinks.
know what?
You guys have.
You gotta calm down on that sarcasm, man, because you're gonna get stuck, and then it's gonna be really bad when you're talking to your parents or your family or something.
For me, I have plenty, but I'll say I was waiting for the seventh time Emily was going to say it because it still wasn't clicking in my mind, so I was waiting. Um, I was curious, is she doing this for her parents? Because
No, no, yeah, I needed a couple more. I wasn't sure
yeah,
either. Didn't
it
say it
was
enough.
after like the fourth time, it was she needed to stop.
I think there was only like okay, there were. there was a delivery of one of them, and I think it was unfortunately the fourth one, so it felt really like desaturated with how often she says it. There was a scene where I thought it was actually decent dialogue that was happening. Like they were actually, they took time to re-script the scene, and it didn't feel like off the cuff. Like most of the dialogue in this movie
But
felt.
if that was the first or
Mm.
second time it was said, okay. But
Yeah,
that
like I
being
said,
like
if it
the
was,
sixth,
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
I was annoyed. Following this is just to kind of pull us back a bit back to the injection. I was really annoyed with the whole. Took me 5 years to create the formula. My
Yeah.
response was, "Oh, good. So you know how to make it. You wrote it down." Or is this like socks where it just doesn't?
That was
It's
going
just
to be a question I had for you because I also thought it was dumb. Formula as in how to make it, or formula as in the actual physical um,
preparation.
substance in the syringes?
yeah.
Did it take
Form-
5 years
Yes.
for it to set to be used or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, the term formula in science, and I'll actually I can use this as a bit to talk about the rest of their quote unquote pseudoscience for this film. Um, the the formula in science typically means your equation, basically your baseline, your blueprint, what you use to kind of figure
Uh,
things out. So when you need to calculate the distance between us and the moon, you have certain gravitational formulas that you have to use. They're things that you repetitively use in science because they're common. So when she says formula in this instance, I take it to mean that it's the baseline. She has her blueprint. She could just make it again.
I didn't realize Mr. Krabs was so scientific.
The Krabby Patty
Formula.
secret formula.
Yeah.
Fucking was that
Uh,
voice?
well, yeah. It's kind of what I mean. It works in that example
I was
too.
killing
Like
myself.
it's their recipe, the formula to make it,
The recipe.
so they can just reuse it. The whole point of having a formula is so you can remake it and reuse it. So I was annoyed by that.
I'm gonna guess if I'm writing for them, which of course we are. Um,
Putting more effort in as we do. That's the point of
yeah,
the podcast.
I would assume what they meant was that to basically get all the ingredients, into the state which they need to be in took about 5 years.
I
I'm
mean,
assuming.
I mean, yes. That's if I'm gonna be really nice to them, but
Yeah, I mean, I know there's not enough there to actually say yay or nay on that. So
Well,
yeah.
that's why I asked if
it's a no.
formula scientifically could be interpreted that way, or if it's a hard set definition.
How about no?
It does have a hard set definition, which is what I gave, but the general public can interpret it the other way because it has been interpreted. Like
Yeah,
someone's
it's a
held up
buzzword.
a
Yeah,
someone's held up a glass vial and swirled it around the blue or green juice that's in there. Like this is the formula to my X factor or whatever. Uh,
can we put that on a T-shirt, please? This is the
Formula to my
formula
X
to my
Factor.
X Factor.
first Keepsy Critics T-shirt. That'd be kind of
Yeah,
amusing. I
yeah.
will.
30 episodes
Uh,
in.
I'll kind of use this to segue into their pseudoscience of the rest of the film. They
Sure.
actually did a decent job in the pseudoscience of the rest of the film. The problem is because they did a decent job and they said terms I understand, I can critique the science of it.
Mm.
um, so when she gets injected, and Emily makes a comment about how like it increases the ATP in her body by 1,000%. For those who don't know, ATP is your energy essentially. Um, so that means her metabolism is going to go insane. Uh,
Mhm.
and she needs to eat more
Mm,
than like the 3 meals a day
yeah,
and
like
things like that.
Michael Phelps level. Yeah,
Michael Fausel kind of Flash kind of level from DC where he needs to consume like an absorbent amount of calories a day in order to it's
yeah. Or
basically
else he would just like be skin and bones in like a day or something. Or
yeah.
yeah.
So a thousand 1,000% is pretty much the stored energy of your body just increasing to exorbitant amounts. I was annoyed by this because that doesn't necessarily mean you have super strength.
No, it does. She has a whole
Science.
bunch of words about it. Yeah,
It's like,
you use all those buzzwords. Come on, man.
Um, oh,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
since you brought up the metabolism stuff, um, I don't,
Oh, come
she
on, say
would
it,
lose weight.
say it.
All right,
Oh,
there you go.
he said it.
I said it.
Oh, you are gonna get slammed, you
Once they
idiot.
brought up the rules, I did write down. Then why is she not shrinking?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Put that out on the freaking message boards.
you know what?
He
They
said it.
made the rules. All right.
They made the
He's
rules.
right.
We're just holding them to it. But yeah, so the
Unfortunately,
rest
he is correct.
I'm using the ATP as just a set example. But most of the pseudoscience functions like that, where at face value, it's actually nice that they're getting scientific terms mostly correct, but it makes what they're doing make no fucking sense. Um, so uh,
And the fact that they
Unfortunately,
said results would be immediate after use is kind of interesting. Doesn't take time to cycle through the body or anything. It's just
yeah,
no, it's so
upon
fast.
application, it should be instantaneous.
You see, the metabolic levels of the hybridized fluid. Um,
eh.
yeah, I got nothing. Sorry.
Oh, yes, fair enough. Springs, you got another fact?
Um, I thought it was kind of cool, and then immediately bad that Emily's
You're great
clothes go
decision.
invisible.
I know I wrote that.
I thought it was bad that she just went invisible instantaneously. Like,
And
oh,
that
you could just do that.
she's
Honestly,
been training alongside uh,
Yeah,
because when
but
they because when they Lydia because when they bring it up, Tony is the guy's name, the trainer. When they brought it up, like, why? When are we gonna see you go like invisible? I was like, oh, you're not because she would have to be naked in order for her to actually be invisible like 100%. And then thankfully that wasn't the case, but
Yes, she
this is something the Incredibles and Fantastic Four cover in their outfits, but they
with
didn't even
with
bother
the
in this.
outfits. Yes, she was in normal
Yeah,
clothes before her suit up process.
oh, you're right. Fuck, I
And
I
yeah,
thought she was in her uniform when that
no,
scene came
no, she was
around.
just in
No.
normal garbs. She's not. She's no Sue
Uh,
Storm, no Violet Parr, not even translucent. She,
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
clothes that go through
translucent,
it.
nice.
Yes, I've
yeah.
seen the
I don't-
boys. Um,
It, yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
And then that goes into the suit up sequence, which is probably one of the lamest superhero suit ups I've ever seen.
Lamest.
It was
Oh, come
It's
on,
so
pain.
lame.
man.
They
there was
walk
no
up.
pizzazz.
There's no suit up. There's nothing. There's no turn to bat nipples. It's just straight walk up, and
Okay.
then they look at each other, and there's wind blowing somewhere. I thought it would be a joke to pan out,
Now,
where it's like, oh,
Yes,
there's a
I
now,
thought
fan.
they
That's
were
what I
gonna
thought.
cut to a
now
fan
listen.
too.
Nope.
Hold
I
on.
really did.
Now listen. I don't often get serious, but you keep your bat nipples away from this movie right now, mister.
No, no, no,
Serious.
no, 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 no.
Had it up to here.
No, no, no. Spriggs is allowed to bring the Bat novels in here all he wants. We're
No.
putting this in just to let you know the tier of what we think of this movie, or at
I'm
least
just
I
I'm
think of
I'm
this
just
movie.
comparing it to another superhero suit up.
Yeah. One of the best things about those movie suit ups is that they show like the different parts being suit up. Well, here it's just lame.
I'm dressed.
Well, here
where's the
they're
cod
already
piece?
wearing it, and they just walk towards the camera.
Yep.
I would not want to watch them suit up. I'm just gonna be
No,
I
honest.
I
agree.
don't either. But it's just
I
No
can see it as
They
like
offense.
a
could
joke.
have done something.
they could have been more
I'm
creative.
not trying to be mean. I'm just saying I don't think they want to show that, and I don't
Well,
think
they could have done
I want to see
camera
that.
stuff where, like, if they're tightening their arm brace and it like does a zoom, it's kind of like cheesy 2000s stuff. But
Yeah,
they could have done something.
Well,
They could have
imagine
done
like
something to
trying to
make it
put
more
on the
interesting.
boots and they fall over, or she turns invisible and can't like see her clothes, and it's like just another error
yeah.
joke. It's like you're not wearing the
Oh,
clothes.
but
Why are they
see,
invisible?
that's an actually funny thing. That's actually fucking funny. You should write for this movie. You should have
Could
written
we
this
fix this
movie,
movie?
please. No,
Probably. Yeah.
no, that sounded so really sarcastic. I'm sorry, but I was actually being serious. That was actually a funny. That would have been actually a good scene. We've we've been broken. I can't not sound sarcastic now. God damn
Well, I
it.
mean,
Everything I keep saying sounds so sarcastic when I hear it back.
well, they
I'm
don't
being
talk about the science of the costumes, if there is any at all. But throughout the rest of the film, they're practically in their super suits the whole time. So I thought the invisibility was decent when used throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just
Yeah.
it's fine.
Let's. Oh yeah, the Urkel conversation.
Can I do that?
It's
Can you say it
painful.
again? Because she said it like 15 times.
Well,
Can I do that?
that's the purpose of this film. They continue a joke. They
Repetition's
don't let
funny,
a
don't you
joke
remember?
die.
Yeah. When I think your Fortnite reference is the peak of your comedy, that's saying something.
That's criminal.
Yeah.
Criminal?
And then that is lying. No. There are some jokes in here that landed that we haven't touched on yet, but I'm sure we will. Because
Oh,
I will bring them
for
eventually.
me, there is one joke that landed that gave me a smirk.
Ooh, please
Everything
let
else
me
was
know.
pretty
do you wanna
stoic.
Do you want to
Are you
cut to that,
saving
or
it?
is it the same one that we shared?
Well, we're doing popcorn. I can cut to it. It hasn't. It was, I believe, the scene when the Keen and Laser come in to like intimidate them in their building office,
Fucking appeared there. You're
and uh, what was it? Laser called herself like a dog with a leech comment or something, and then
Leash.
Lydia calls her a bitch, and I'm like, oh, that's funny because a bitch is a female dog. Oh, I get it. A 2 out of 10 joke is better than a 1 out of 10.
That's fair. Uh, on that scene, I was like, "Are we like 20 stories up? How the fuck did they get here without
Oh, there's no
being
security.
spotted?"
Yeah.
I
What
wrote
is
I
this?
wrote down security cameras question mark, and then he's like, "Oh, we took that down." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I'm like, at least there's
Guess
a lot
that
of
helps.
dialogue. I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, I would have liked to have at least seen the secretary conversation because the secretary doesn't let anybody
I
go up without fucking,
Yeah,
She's a
you know.
pile of dust from
that's
laser.
another.
I would have liked
That,
it if it was like, oh, the king killed all of the
oh,
security or
just killed
something.
everyone on the way up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
A
I mean,
question for me.
I would prefer that.
I was confused kind of on, is Thunder Force connected to the law at all, or are they just vigilantes?
Not until the end. They're
They're
Yeah,
just
they're
vigilantes.
currently vigilantes.
They're vigilantes until they endorse their candidate.
yeah, it's accurate.
Vigilantes that everyone accepts.
Only
Well, because they
superheroes
actually like help
who aren't,
people.
yeah, actual heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
I was just
Sometimes
curious
you just
because
gotta.
I thought they were definitely like speeding in their car. Would they get pulled over? Are they just
let's
excused?
let's
Probably.
let's talk
Yeah,
about the
They weren't
car.
established heroes yet when they went on their first drive.
it would have been funny if they did get pulled over. Well, I'm sorry. It would have been funny if it was written by a good comedy writer.
Oh, it would
Oh,
have been good if it
oh,
was
But
like a
wasn't it
liar
funny when
liar.
they slowly got in the car because the car's too small for them?
No,
Funny.
both times where it took like 5 minutes to get in and out of the car.
Certainly not a stretched out joke again. Not at all.
I'm just going through my notes. I just want to read out my comments because I put my notes as live commentary. So when Lydia gets her injections in the chest, I wrote, "Writers, you can actually throw a good joke at us every now and again. I'd appreciate it. No one's gonna stop you."
No, we will. We are the joke police. They gotta run it by us first.
No, that would be YouTube's algorithm.
no, we're like, oh,
Snap.
these jokes are really lengthy. Why are they so lengthy? They're painful. And the director's like, no, my wife needs more screen time. I love seeing her.
That's probably
Oh,
true.
probably. Unfortunately, I want that not to be true, but
Yeah. I'm
I don't
sorry.
know.
Just we got off topic from your. Who someone brought up the getting in the car bit. Sorry.
that was
I brought in the
Cleveland.
bit. Sprinks brought up the whole police thing, I think. Or
Okay.
pulling
Yeah, the
over.
speeding. Yeah, whether they were
That's good
actually
conversation.
legal or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The car bit was an. I I wanted to like it because two characters like singing it together can like be a sign of bonding. But I just was like, can we stop now? Like this is going on too long.
But they were listening to Glenn Fry. Wasn't
Weird.
that good?
Really weird.
Smothers Blues.
It's
Yeah.
always time to fry.
I'm like, that's when Emily's, music came in. Because it wasn't Van Halen or AC/DC.
That wasn't a stretched out joke as well.
Yeah.
It's so How long would this movie be if they didn't have these stretched out jokes? An
Oh,
hour?
probably
At
like an hour
least
20. It would
yes,
cut out 20 minutes of the movie.
at least half an hour, 20 minutes.
If I could have visited a kiss
Well,
from a rose.
we could talk about the disgusting, absurdist comedy that is the raw chicken joke.
Yeah, I was curious if that was going to be one of your
Uh,
facts when you brought up facts. If you found out
yeah,
what the
like
chicken
they
actually
actually.
was.
Yeah,
I didn't look it up.
Is it just gelatin?
Yeah,
probably just
probably.
joke.
I would assume so because I think they'd be dead from salmonella.
Oh, absolutely no way it's raw chicken. Maybe some of the shots, but actual eating it, no.
Well, yeah, actually,
Like,
the eating of it.
in iZombie, when she eats brains, it's gelatin. So I'm sure this chicken's just gelatin.
Yeah.
There you go. Random connection.
But
There
was
is
it
only
really good?
there was only one benefit to the continuous raw chicken jokes, and I think that was for Crab Booth's character.
Yep.
It was something else that they bonded over. I'm like, huh, the joke was actually useful for once, and then it just went
Oh,
right back into being too absurd.
I know we've talked about the crab a lot now, but I just got to the point in my
Mm.
notes where I wrote down, oh, he's half crab, so he's actually finally a mutant.
Oh shit! uh,
And that's a Mr. Mergorium's Wonder Emporium reference.
Wow. That's a rarity.
yep.
That's yeah, that's really rare. Really,
Okay.
really rare.
I do have a question for Ryder. I mean, for all of you, but specifically to Ryder. Ryder, did you like the part where they reused the same line 3 times saying, can't wait to kill you both?
No.
They said it once, then twice by another character, and then third time by the same. Just back to back to back.
Yeah. I don't remember that
Hilarious.
scene, but I don't remember it off the top of my
It's
head
the
where that
diner.
was.
At
That's
the
when
diner.
Laser's
Yeah.
pacing around them, and the Keen's giving his plan when he broke in, and then
Yeah.
Laser just like snaps to like, can't wait to kill you both.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're right. That one.
I see. Like, I know they're doing it for comedy, which is why it doesn't land. But like, if they were playing up like a Joker crazed woman lady, that would probably have landed a bit better. But the problem is, Laser strikes me as someone with a head on their shoulders. So yeah,
Really?
I didn't enjoy
Yeah,
that.
I thought like,
She seemed dumb.
yeah, I thought
She
she was
did
Well,
kind of
seem
okay,
dumb.
everyone in this film seems dumb, but by comparison to everyone else in this world, she seemed okay.
I don't
It
know if
it
I agree with that assessment.
it really gave me the
Yeah,
fly
I don't
now
know.
kind of feel. Just reusing the same thing again and again.
Yeah, fair.
I've said it multiple times, so you know it's funny. Repetition is funny. That's
Well, that's a
Not
lot
when
of Melissa
repetition
McCarthy
is
humor.
repetitive.
no repetition can okay. Let me rephrase that. Repetition can be funny. You have to actually execute it properly in order for it to work, though. Saying a dumb line twice does not make it funny.
Melissa McCarthy does a lot of recurring jokes and observational humor, and a lot of the observational humor is not good.
I guess
Man,
I'm
how do you
just
guys change those light bulbs?
I guess
Hilarious.
I'm
You
just like
saying
a.
that
That's
is
a
funny.
maintenance
Oh,
question.
that
Yeah,
was so
you saying that is funny. Yeah. I
It's
guess I'm just like a grungy, like dirtbag lady. I don't know. Do I have my
uh,
stuff in like a
this
trash
is an
bag
original
somewhere?
1994 Van Halen or whatever shirt.
Alright, I do have a continuity
Observation.
error. I do have a continuity error that I found.
Oh,
So this is
please.
after the shot put scene, um, where Lydia throws the shot put like into the building, and then like a few minutes later, we cut to them like training with the the fisticuffs,
Mhm.
and I wrote down the trainer's dead
Oh,
because I mean, like, if this was before the shot put scene, it probably would have worked. But after the shot put scene, she doesn't know how to control her powers, as we see later on when he comes out in full armor gear, which is what I would have expected earlier. But the fact that they showed this after the shot put scene, the trainer's dead from the practice punches and the fucking hit that she gets to his head.
Well, yeah. Does the trainer weigh more than 170 pounds? Because the shot put I think they said was 170.
But she likes
Uh,
your men thick.
Well,
I'm
it's
imagining
not
the
just
trainer.
weight; it's the force
Yeah,
applied
his
to the
she snapped his
to it.
neck with a punch, is what I'm saying.
She $1 million babied him.
Pretty much, he dead.
Oh
And
god.
then when he was,
Oh.
and then when the scene came later where, oh, what is it called? The scene came later where, he came out in all the armor get up and stuff. I'm like, why wasn't this in earlier? Like this needed to be there earlier for him not to have died. So it's weird that they paid attention to the detail, but it was just in the wrong place.
Well, I don't know why they're still using a human
So
for it.
it's
Yeah,
an
that
editing
seems.
error?
No, I don't think it's a continuity error in the normal sense. It's a continuity error in that it's logically incorrect.
The
Like
power
you wouldn't.
scaling is
Yeah,
inconsistent.
The power scaling is what got fucked. That's what it is.
yeah.
Uh,
That's what the continuity is.
yeah, at a certain point, you would stop using a human because he could get killed in a punch. Just like our favorite character from Falcon Winter Soldier, Star, whatever his name was.
Starlight.
I don't remember.
Starlight, Starbright,
U.S. agent's buddy that got killed. Battlestar, I think.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was the name
Galactica.
suggestion.
Yeah. He got killed with one punch from a super person. Anyways, and it wasn't even a fight when he had his suit. It was just one punch, and the training was over.
Yeah,
So they would
he
have
needed to
just, I feel
go.
like, used a punching bag or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a level of where they would have definitely moved on.
Maybe.
All right, Springs,
Hey,
you got
70 years in the ice can really do something. Oh wait, no, wrong movie. Um,
anything?
yeah, I think a character. You said a lot of characters are idiots. There's one character I think had an ounce of sweetness and was fine, which was the grandma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She was fine.
Actually,
I don't like that they just kind of left her behind, but
I was
No,
kind of
she
amused
wanted
by
to be
her.
left behind.
Yeah, I was kind of amused by her too. I agree with that.
You guys are a couple. No.
That's another thing in this movie. It was the whole um homosexual remarks here and there. I think was fine. It wasn't over the top. It didn't beat you in the head with it. It was, I think, fine. There was
Yeah.
the daughter who had the two
yeah,
dads, the grandma thinking that they were a couple. I believe there's one or two other remarks throughout the film, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying this in a negative tone. It was fine. It wasn't like a, but it did seem a little bit kind of thrown in that it was two dads out of
I'm
nowhere.
so
But
glad it was you that said it in on me. I had the same thing. It's like a kid saying, "Parents, look." I'm like, that's not something you'd say.
I'm just not no negative behind there whatsoever. Just
I mean,
saying that was
I'm
the
trying to.
only time I felt thrown in.
Yeah, he says
I
dad's
agree.
look, right?
No, she
Like,
That
says like,
she
sorry.
says, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
"Dad, she
Explicitly.
threw a bus," or something.
Yeah.
It's like
I
that's
that
the
was
only
probably
time.
the only one that felt you know, quote unquote forced, but I otherwise agree with Springs that with
Yeah,
how
no,
often, movies beat their message over the head, this one wasn't too bad.
especially for a
and
movie that
and
focuses on repetition.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, and
thank God. They nailed one. They got one
and
thing right.
yeah, and plus most of the time they rely heavily, I'm gonna say heavily on stereotypes. So this actually felt somewhat organic in that it was just normal people, which is what they are.
Uh, is it the taser sequence in the first fights, quote unquote fight sequence?
I
Was
get it.
I didn't get it either. I don't.
Oh,
I
just
mean, I get.
scarring his face.
Well, I don't know why she couldn't turn it off or just take it
Yeah,
off his face.
yeah. It stuck to him, and I was confused.
It was barbed. I don't know.
No, that was hilarious. I peed my pants
Why are you
laughing.
still tasing me?
Because they had to
Uh,
make sure there was plenty of footage showing that they're not the best superheroes.
No, they had to do it so that yes, and also that they could keep bringing it up in future scenes. Like, dude, cover that shit on your face, man. Seriously, it's disgusting. 2 times,
It was just used for a joke.
Did
and
anyone write?
not a very good one either.
Did anyone write down what they said at the political rally?
Nope.
Wait, political rally.
Yeah, when they're endorsing their mayor. Because my notes only say this political rally is painful. I need to go fucking exercise my brain after the season is over.
Uh,
Literally, my notes say.
I don't know. Must have missed that.
I don't know which which thing you're referencing.
You know, actually, okay, I remembered. It's uh Lydia going like, they're screaming into the microphone. It's like, yeah, for $100 you can
Oh,
get a
Oh,
selfie with.
oh,
oh, for
okay.
free and a donation. Yeah. Greed.
And then they're all like, "Ha ha ha! You're so funny, Lydia."
Here's my $100. Yeah, that I agree. That was painful.
That was really awkward,
She's
cringy.
Yeah,
learning. She's learning
yeah,
to be a hero.
yeah. And then we cut from that to the election being over. That felt very time skippy to me because I there was no sense of time with the imminent election. Whereas,
Okay. Something just sorry crossed my mind. Just keep in mind, Lydia's not doing this for her family. Just
Oh,
that's true.
okay.
that says more about her character.
I don't think they brought that up. So
Yeah, we don't
probably
know
not
her
relevant.
motivations at all, other than that she was here by accident and now wants to help people because childhood dream, I guess.
Well, because she was always a hero when she was a kid, so now she gets to be a real hero.
Yeah, always beating up the Waynes. Good.
Dude, they call back to that. Didn't you see that? It was really good.
No.
Oh, okay. Good answer.
No.
Oh, that dead, yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Since we haven't brought it up yet, unless I forgot, I don't think so. The daughter whose name escapes me right now.
Barry Allen.
Emily Jr.
Yes, Emily Jr.
That works.
Um,
Yeah,
Accepted.
yeah.
sh- she was probably my favorite character in this.
I'd agree.
She wasn't an annoying kid. Um, her lack of communication with her mom was a decent little plot thread, I guess, between those two.
Yeah.
Could have been a little bit better when they actually had the talk towards the end
Yeah.
regarding their relationship,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I will
the
say that
actual
was
build up to it was good.
there was a good nugget there. Not to interrupt you completely, but like the scene where the Fortnite thing where she actually thanks Lydia for asking her like questions about who she likes because her mom never does, and you can see her mom in the background like having heard the tail end of the conversation. That was a nice nugget I liked.
hmm
So
And I liked her relationship with Lydia, and pretty much everything revolving around her I liked, except her getting the superpowers at the end. But
Yeah, that seemed a little bit
uh,
of a
everything
what would
else
you
about her, I think, was good.
literature-wise is what would you call that? A deus ex machina? Uh-huh.
yeah, I don't know whether. So did she get like hit with a miscreant laser beam or whatever that gave everyone
Well,
powers?
that happened
Or-
before she was born, so
Okay. So then
Yeah,
yeah,
so
so her mom had to have
she
given her
came up
powers.
with her own formula without her mom knowing somehow.
Okay.
her-
It's a little problematic, but sure.
uh,
what's that movie?
bit
I mean,
bit
she
of an
lives
issue.
she lives in a lab pretty much as we see her room. Like she lives there with them, so I guess I'm not surprised.
And everything funded by her mom and her mom's employees. I feel like she would find out that her daughter's making some
Oh yeah, no,
No.
secret
I agree. It's a
stuff.
problem.
Well, yeah, with the CIA lady who she was really funny.
Yeah, Jodie Foster.
Speaking of,
The funny thing, I thought she looked like more like Kathleen Kennedy than Jodie Foster.
she looked like
I agree actually.
maybe that is who I'm thinking of. She looked like the I'm not gonna say it. I don't remember. No, no, no. I don't. I honestly don't remember. So it's just gonna be like a big long thing. So
That's fair.
I will say I might be an idiot, but I did not expect her to be bad. I didn't get the vibes that she was a
I
killer.
the only I got it when she went up to leave while they were at the diner. That's the moment I knew because it was too perfect.
Um, in retrospect, that does help. Yes, I think I knew for certain. Uh, when she asked her daughter to get her a coffee.
Okay,
Like
so right before the reveal, then.
yeah, I figured it out right before the reveal, pretty much. Like when she asked
Yeah.
the daughter to leave, and I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then I'm like, oh, she's evil now, isn't she?
What about you, Springs?
A little earlier than the diner. I just thought how off put she was to Lydia was just more
Yeah,
and
she's kind of
more
a
of a
bitch,
character
yeah.
problem than learning that, hey, you're actually training, you're actually getting power, you're actually, listening. She's just still mean to her.
Oh yeah, no character growth got is what bothered you there, I
Yeah.
suppose, or like no sign of growth.
Yeah. She stayed as like, a bully to Lydia and didn't
She
like
did
talk
get a
to
little bit
Emily
better.
about it, like tried to manipulate Emily to be like, oh, be a miscreant, turn against her or something. Like there was none of that, but it wasn't also like it wasn't telling Emily to change Lydia. It was just still being mean, mad at Lydia.
Mhm.
It was just this grudge that she accidentally, got the super strength throughout. So
Mm. I think she changed a little bit, but it wasn't enough to be prevalent, so I still agree with you.
It's a
Um,
little interesting that
Just a
the
little bit?
that the invisibility. It's always for a joke, but that the invisibility is just a pill, and the super strength's a series of painful injections. 33 painful injections.
And
Uh,
only, like,
I
what,
can't
like,
tell if that's I can't
25?
tell if that's a reference because the first episode of Battlestar Galactica is called 33. Or
There's no
I'm
way
gonna
they
say
got the
no.
yeah, there's
yeah,
no way they got the
considering how shoehorned their other previous
yeah,
Battlestar reference was in.
yeah, there's no way with that stupid reference that they actually named 33.
Yeah,
No way.
I'm also
I'm
going to
like,
guess that because of this, Emily Jr. did not get the injections for her powers.
Not likely.
Still.
yeah,
You know
I'm
what? She
assuming
might
a
have even
pill.
streamlined it even more. It might have just been one pill. Who knows? We didn't get to see any of that
Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or learn
we're
any
just
of it.
left to write for her.
Yeah.
I guess one of my favorite recurring jokes that happened because there are a few the recurring jokes that I liked, but one of them
Mhm.
I liked was the mayor killing once he killed off a different henchman. Crab Booth kind of gets annoyed with him and says, "God damn it, sir, that was Kenny. He is a good member of the team." And I like the recurring joke that explicitly comes from that springs from this, where the mayor is derisive against the rest of the team, and Crab Booth has to constantly remind him of like who is killed and who he hasn't. I was kind of that was the only recurring jokes that I thought that amused me. So
I think it
figured it.
teetered on being a bit too long moments, but if I have to choose any of the reoccurring jokes, that would be the best one. I would say.
Yeah,
The
I
pill
no, I mean
versus the
I
injection.
agree that this scene definitely lasts too long with the introduction of Andrew. That's when it started feeling like it was dragging.
Yeah. They call me Drew, Andy Roo, whatever.
No.
How shoehorned the
Ugh.
references were. I expected one of them to call him Buzz as a joke. You know, Woody.
Yeah, got it.
Woody. My dad was a big fan of Andrew Lloyd Webber, so he called me Paul.
Um, anyone got anything else? Leave that
uh,
one open.
Sure, Spring says something.
yeah, come on.
Sure. With how the world is, and everyone just pulls up a camera, which they showed in the inconvenience store of
The
people.
inconvenience
Sorry.
store.
I
No,
mean,
I like that.
uh,
That's good.
just pulling up the phones and everything. When the crab and Lydia are on a date in the restaurant, no one cares. There's the hero of Thunder Force who's been on the news and done prep rallies and everything, and then this miscreant who's a bad guy who's been more. The convenience store couldn't have been his first thing. He's done stuff probably
He's a known
beforehand to be a
criminal.
known
Yeah.
criminal, and they're just on this date in this restaurant. There's no one taking photos, no one recording. TMZ's not there. It just, and then I went, oh, the customers don't care. I guess that matches. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
I agree. I
Agree.
don't know how they came in contact with each other either.
She called him.
Yeah. All we know is that Lydia reached out.
Lydia was looking for him in Chicago and didn't know where to go, but then she went, "Oh, he's probably at a crab rave."
Crab rave.
That's kind of funny.
Speciesist.
That's quantifiably funny.
That's amusing in that the meme of a crab rave, because crab rave is a long-lasting meme,
Yep,
but
yep, yeah,
it's cringe because it
you picked
didn't.
up what I put down.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. This isn't Thunder Force. We don't have to keep going on it. Speaking of the crab guy again, probably put a smirk on my face every single time he crab walked away.
Yeah. The first time I'm like, "Oh, caught it." Second
Yeah,
time,
second time,
I see it. Third time, oh, you're a coward.
Yeah, he's got crab strength.
One little factoid that I actually did forgot to mention at the beginning of this is that I
Oh.
looked this up to kind of make sure that is weird for the film. Crabs actually do regrow their limbs. That is a thing they do, which will be relevant
Oh,
for
That was something I was
the
going to
final
ask.
act.
Good.
That'll be relevant
Mhm.
for the final act. That is something they do. Yeah.
really? They actually regrow?
Yes, they shed. They can shed their damaged legs and just regrow them.
Huh.
Well, why
And
do we
same
I
with
tell
never
their
knew
crab
that.
claws
that?
and other things.
Why don't
Every
we just
time I've
tell
ever
a
gotten a
crab
another-
crab,
just take their legs?
yeah, because every time I've ever gotten like a crab that had like a missing leg or something, it hadn't grown back yet. So that's interesting.
Well, by that point,
Uh,
Sinister it's probably dead.
Well, yeah, but I've caught like live crab and they've had thing, but yeah,
It takes time, obviously, but
can they regrow like the pincers even, or is it just the legs?
Yeah,
I
there's
think
this species of crab that's got one giant claw and then one tiny one.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes they just rip off the tiny one for no reason. And it comes
Rip
back.
off the tiny
Yeah.
one.
They just rip off the tiny one. I don't know why.
The
But they do it.
spite. What is it to first cut your nose to spite your face, or what the fuck is that phrase?
No idea.
I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
if Hulk had a Bruce Banner arm and didn't match, he'd pull off the Banner arm.
It's true. Give me a
That's
Hulk arm.
fair.
But he doesn't regrow his arms.
That's true.
Why?
Also,
Well, Hulk does though. Yeah, he
Where?
regenerates.
Does
Hulk
Hulk?
regenerates.
does Hulk regrow
From a
limbs?
whole like a
Frank, so I'm
whole
gonna defer
limb?
to you. I wouldn't know.
This sounds like a question for a different time.
No, we have to answer this now.
Depending
Fine,
on
you guys
comic
keep talking.
lines,
I'll look
yes,
it
Hulk
up.
can regenerate.
Okay.
It's
I'm gonna
a
look
it up.
gamma radiation regenerative thing.
Okay.
And I
alright.
don't think he's the only Hulk can do that.
Does it also happen? Like if Hulk is Hulk, right? He's hulking out, loses an
Yeah.
arm. Does Banner lose an arm and then Hulk regrows it, or does Banner like heal up at the same rate as?
No idea.
No, I know
Okay, never
Banner
mind.
doesn't,
All right.
as far as I can tell.
Okay,
It's
never mind
the
then.
gamma
I'm going based off
radiation
of movies.
part.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just
Okay.
thinking like
Well,
Kurt Connors or whatever. Kurt Connors, like
Lizard.
when he's the lizard, his arm regrows, but when he's a human, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, back to Thunder
Uh,
Force.
one thing that I did think was kind of smart on Lydia's part was that mostly she's seducing Crab Booth for information, and also
Yeah,
just
seducing him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she butters him
Yeah.
up.
quite literally.
Seasons them, yeah. That she just happens to have all the time.
Yeah.
in her bra.
Well, I mean, she actually genuinely likes him, so at least as far as I could tell from the movie.
Still a better love story than Twilight.
Yes.
In my notes, I said, "Oh my God, hold the phone." He said, "Raw chicken." They're a match.
Yeah, pretty much.
Match made in heaven.
I said like, well, this is happening. I guess they made the running joke worth something, which is better.
And they'll bring it up even after the final title card.
Yeah, they do.
Don't look. I'm not an animal.
Yeah.
I'm a human being.
Elephant Man
That was pretty highbrow for this movie. To be honest.
Yeah. I was really to kind of go back to the CIA being the CIA lady being evil.
Yeah.
I was really annoyed because I'm like, CIA is not this dumb, but it is in this movie. Okay. No, it's the FBI. Sorry, Quantico's the
Just
FBI.
just
I'm
say, just get
confusing.
it over with. Come on, man.
No,
Well,
it's
she was said to be CIA by
yeah,
Ex-CIA.
yeah.
yeah. So I was kind of annoyed that she was that dumb. Just, I don't know why she was doing this in their building. As soon as you know she
She was
kicked
just
daughter out of left the scene.
Would have left the scene of the crime.
Pretty much, yeah. Like you don't want to say. So I was annoyed that she stayed in the fucking computer room at Emmy's
Ah.
business.
Well, if there's anything I know about CIA, it's usually getting caught doing the wrong things most of the time,
mm,
That's
and
true.
then getting
Don't
away with it
disagree.
anyways.
Yeah.
uh, I'll jump to Laser as a character as a whole.
Oh,
There's
your
a
favorite
couple
character. Yeah.
instances where she decides to not kill people because it's in her character just to kill everything. That's kind of like her thing. I like to kill people, but she doesn't kill Frank
Is Laser in here?
from. Hmm?
Is Laser in this room? I heard somebody say I want to kill people.
Oh
That's
yes, I want
Laser.
to kill things. She didn't kill Frank at
Yeah,
the
she just picked
restaurant.
him up and threw him
She
around.
picked him up for
And I
some
was like,
reason.
"Oh," I'm like, I literally wrote, "Oh, Frank is dead," and then he was like, "Not dead." I'm like, "I
Oh,
guess not?"
Yeah,
you
Question
and
want to
then
mark.
hear
she
my?
does the same thing to Emily in the final fight. She just
Mhm.
grabs her and, what are you doing? Just laser her face off. What's the problem?
Yeah,
It it's dumb.
it's very dumb. Plot armor is thick as fuck for when it needs to be, and thin as
Now,
paper
That's
when it
a
needs
that's
to
a
be.
no, no, that's a catchphrase.
And then
Plot armor is thick as fuck when it needs to be,
Yeah,
and thin as paper when it needs to be. Sure.
yeah. There you go.
Second T-shirt of the day.
during the trap portion where Lydia chucks a dumpster at her, I was like, wow, very lucky she didn't hit Emily with that because she didn't know where she was.
Yeah. Also, very lucky that like Laser is just a person, so she's probably got some broken ribs and probably has a sprained knee.
You know?
No,
Yeah.
she's
I
fine.
mean, she took a punch from Lilith, not Lilith. What's her name? Lydia. I don't
Yeah.
know why I have trouble remembering her name.
Oh yeah, and
Lydia.
she's super powered. So yeah, her jaw's gone.
But she held back because she didn't want to kill her.
I could
That's
jump to
that's
Because
another
now
a
she
super
can
movie. I could jump
control
to
her
another
strength.
superhero movie that's really bad, but I'm not going to. Uh,
good use of restraint.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Lydia could
Uh,
have killed her, but then Laser said, "I'm with you till the end of the line." She stopped.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Then they went swimming.
I was gonna bring up Mr. Incredibles being nerfed for the Incredibles 2. Yeah,
Can't get past these
Look,
pipes.
he's got super strength. You don't see him eating all the time.
it's true.
Come on, what are you gonna do? You gonna kill us? Come on, that would make you the bad guy. So we're just gonna leave, and we're gonna go off and do more crime stuff later on, and you're gonna get us again. So
I have to admit, I was really annoyed. I'm like, they didn't really think through this stopping crime bit, did they? The fact they
No.
just let them go and didn't have like bring any cups with them or anything.
oh yeah, no, it worked perfectly though.
No, it's again in movies where there's no cops. You just
No,
don't see the police.
there was like 5 cops when Laser shot up that church.
Oh
Okay,
no,
that's enough.
they interviewed one of the police officers with like two like caught criminals behind him. Like, isn't Thunder Force just great?
Yeah,
Grateful for their help.
they're wonderful.
Wonderful.
And they want tickets to the Cubs game.
Yeah.
Oh my
Or
god!
So
throw the
Should we
ball.
touch
instead.
on that
Cubs
now?
game.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, sure.
How
Yeah,
Chicago this
feel
is?
free,
Yeah.
yeah. How Chicago? Every other scene, there was something related to Chicago Bears or Chicago Cubs in the background, and it was just getting on my nerves.
I would like to point out the Chicago Bears is not a good football team. They have a good quarterback and a horrible coach. Not a good
Well,
team.
that's
Um,
my pizza is thick and my sports teams are lousy.
so yeah, I feel bad for all the Chicago Bears fans. This movie didn't help your case either.
I just think if they had a
No,
pan of the
it's fine.
city with a title in the lower left of just saying Chicago, like where we are. That's all that was needed. That's it. Lydia
It's
doesn't
true.
have to have both sports teams on her hard hat while working. It doesn't have to be all over the diner. It doesn't have to be at her house. It's littered everywhere.
She's a
Yeah.
fan.
He's a fan.
She's a fan and never talks about it.
She won't shut up about it.
Yeah. Well, it's just referencing. She just says like, you know, the Bears, the Bulls,
See, that would have
you
been
know,
something if at
Mickey
the pep
City
Gaudrio.
rally.
Pride.
If the rally, she's like, "We're Chicago, the Cubs, yeah, the Bears, yeah." And she's just like, "Give me $100, yeah."
Take a photo with me. Play Fortnite with me.
God.
I don't know.
Do we all appreciate the way she doxed her neighbor?
Oh,
That
oh,
was
oh my
that was a
gosh.
really long way to go for that joke. Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
one
liked
number
it.
off. They'll never get me.
That's true.
Also weird that she would assume
they
that people
follow
would
back in.
be like sending death threats or something to her address. What is she doing on Fortnite?
Well, in Lydia's defense, she is Melissa McCarthy, famously unfunny.
I don't think
Some
you can
big
say that.
words.
Yeah.
Oh, Ryder
I
can
don't think
totally
you
say
can.
that. That's what he thinks about it. But oof,
I don't think
we'll have to cover another Melissa McCarthy movie sometime.
I'm sure we'll get to one at some point.
it's long.
So during the whole, oh, we need a theme song. We need to come up with a name. Lydia's very into this superhero thing to an extent where I would have thought she would have brought up masks or something, because we do see that family is brought up as a potential problem. It's
But she
not
has
followed
no
Yeah.
through
family.
at all, but that should have been a topic brought up
Oh,
at least.
you got family in the city, don't you?
It's
Yeah.
like the complete. It's such a spit on Spider-Man.
Such a spit on Spike. Oh,
Absolutely.
come
Because
on.
Spider-Man's
That's
like,
it.
I
It's
wear my mask, I keep my identity, so no one harms anyone I care about. So no one knows. In this movie, she's just like, it's for my family. I'm doing it for my family. It's all about my family. Anyone can see who I am. Everyone knows my name. They know where my building is.
Bingo.
I have a
I
daughter.
mean,
She
like,
works with me.
there's a difference of like, it could be in character for someone to do that. Because I obviously go to Tony Stark again. His name's on the side of buildings, and everyone knows he's Iron Man. But he never cared about people enough. Like, he didn't have anyone special in his life up until a certain point with Pepper. To like really, really care about. Um,
Mm.
and also it helps when you have like the God of Thunder like rooming with you every now and again. So it's very you can write your characters to be a specific way. The problem with Emmy is that she feels like the kind of person who would have cared about secret identity from the get-go purely because she was doing it to protect her family and because of her family.
Yep. Issue.
Issue.
It's
Uh,
really
I don't know
weird.
what type of masks they could have done with those outfits, though. Probably wouldn't have looked very good.
I would have just preferred like a fucking helmet,
Oh,
not
like
necessarily a
a
mask.
Captain America helmet.
Yeah, something more in that vein, because it would have. That would work more serviceably with their outfits, because I don't think masks would work.
Black bolts.
What about like just Robin, little eye coverings?
I don't think I would have liked that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
The secret identity part of like any superhero movie is always really murky because
yeah. There's a.
it all functions weird.
It functions weird, but it's the actor that needs to sell it. Usually, like with Christopher Reeve Superman. Uh, there was a clear difference in performance when he's Superman and he's playing Clark Kent. So
Steve,
like he can
yeah,
sell the identity, even though he looks the same without the mask. He can sell the difference in identity.
yeah. That was always I don't know. That's always like the most obvious one. Everyone's like Superman doesn't wear a mask. And his mask is he wears glasses when he's Clark Kent. That's his mask.
Yeah, like I said, and then I chose him because he's the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
But like in his instance, like the way that he holds himself is completely different. So it's much more
Yeah.
subtle. Uh, and sometimes he does his hair differently. It's just one of those things where like I don't. It's something if they cared about their secret identity in Thunder Force, I feel like Emily would have been the one to care about from the beginning. And I kind of agree with Springs that it doesn't necessarily spit on the face of Spider-Man, but it definitely like feels incongruent with her character.
I second that.
I obviously agree because I brought it up.
You know what? You need to just calm down a little bit there, Crimson.
All right, I got too much
A
energy
little,
for this movie.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I
the
thought.
mayor.
Oh,
That's
never
right.
mind.
Go on,
Redder's going.
Springs. No.
He
Go.
didn't
You
think at
first, Springs.
all.
Go
I
on.
was just gonna say a really weird line that I wrote down because it didn't fit and it just felt weird that it was said by Laser is during the dumpster fight and she just says I can't knit. It just seemed so just
The
random.
hobby, like, why can't you get another hobby? I can't
I
knit.
can't knit, and then they fight. I'm like, weird.
So lame.
I don't think Laser, with what was shown, I don't think she'd do this whole chit chat thing.
You're telling me that wasn't funny?
No,
It's
it's
also a
weird.
good quip. Okay?
I guess it's just subjective because I freaking loved it.
That was fucking hilarious, man.
Crimson, I cannot wait for your rating. I am really excited for your subjective rating right now.
This is a solid 10 out of 10. I mean, the humor was on point.
Wes McCarthy's just freaking hysterical. Victoria Spencer knocks it out of the park again.
It's like, I'll hold you to it. Otherwise, you're going to be a liar.
A liar.
No. That can't be
You're
held up
gonna
in
be
court.
a big,
I had sarcastic
fat
tone. I don't care
phony.
what that paper says.
I was waiting for Clyde to come around with another knock-knock joke at some point.
Oh
yeah,
wait,
like you brought up
he's
Clyde.
here.
Seemed like he was
He's
going
here
to do
right
something.
now. Clyde, do your knock knock
Like
joke.
I thought that was going to be at the very end where he like comes back and goes, "I finally got one," and he actually tells one correctly.
No, he's still there at that bar trying to figure
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
He's a little practicing.
That would have been a kind of decent post-credit scene. He's
Yeah.
just at the bar trying to come up with jokes.
He's got like he's growing a beard. He's all disheveled, trying to buy.
That would be funny. Again, this movie was written by good comedic writers.
Dude, that would have been 10 out of 10 if they'd actually finished Clyde's arc there. I would have.
Well, it's the fact
Would've
that
been
he was
obligated.
there as a kid with a knock-knock joke, and then at the reunion with a knock-knock joke, and I'm like, well, they like repetition in this movie. Where is he? He never came back again.
Yep.
Oh,
And
he's
then he
still
never
waiting
came
for
back.
Emily to show up at the reunion.
True. At the
Yeah,
25th
he's like,
anniversary.
yeah, he's
33
like,
days later, he's still just waiting for her
I
to
guess
show
if
up.
I just wait here, they'll have to come back eventually.
Lydia throws the bus. You kind of briefly touched on it when Laser attacks the cafe.
Restaurant thing.
And then immediately, like the city's like, "Are we even better with them?"
I know.
And I'm like, I don't know. In a world full of supervillains, you have two people trying to stop them. I think you're better with them.
It's the classic, you know.
I guess at that point, we've only seen them stop 2 robbers. Right? Aren't they really that big of heroes? No.
Let's see.
I agree that the public perception 180,
Well,
at least through the
maybe-
news, was
Yeah.
quite quick.
Well,
It's
maybe
not even-
that's
they're
one
not
of the
even as
King's
bad as-
guys.
Yeah, and they're not even as bad as Zack Snyder's Superman, where he just fucking destroyed an entire city just for his opening movie.
Yeah, and then Bruce Wayne looks up and he goes, "Oh, you're a villain," hugging some kid.
And then
One of the most reasonable reactions, I guess.
Batman looks up in the rain in his freaking anti-Superman suit, and he's all like, "Do you bleed?
Okay.
Because right now I
so-
don't give a fuck."
I guess you'd be right, Crimson. I wouldn't know if that's reporter works for King.
There's not enough there to say
Not
yeah or no
enough
on that.
for
Yeah,
me.
so but could happen.
Could happen. And then
See, that's the one thing I like about these movies is that you could make up anything and it would technically be accurate
Be better.
because it's yeah.
When you say these movies, what are you collecting?
Oh,
just
I'm
bad
not gonna,
movies in general.
I'm not gonna
Season
quantify what I
6.
meant by these.
Gotcha.
yeah, this season.
We haven't talked about the ending fight too much, so I'll bring up, I guess, post fight. When she jumps out the window with the bomb,
Oh yeah,
why?
stealing it
Uh,
away.
Why didn't she just throw it out there?
why did she throw it? Why didn't she chuck it into the sun or something? What?
Because it
She's
was
not
nighttime,
Superman.
Crimson.
Come on, man.
Okay, so the excuse is is that
Could hurt
she
people.
needs the excuse is that she needs to be the one to absorb the shock hitting the water before, otherwise the bomb would just go off on the surface and thereby damage more what's around it. So she needed to absorb the shock in order to go into the water to bring the bomb underwater with her safely for it to then detonate. That is what the movie explicitly tells us, I believe.
Oh, they said that.
Yes, like she's like, "Oh, I've
She did
actually
say she
thought this
needed
went
a shock.
through."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's like, I actually thought this through. I need to go out the window
Why
and
don't we just
absorb
have
the
the
shock
frickin' super fast lady just like toss the bomb somewhere?
She brought that
because
up.
mom
No, they
said
didn't bring
no.
that up.
Yeah.
No, I know
No.
that's what I'm talking about. And they're like, I don't want to put you in any more danger than you've already been in. It's like, okay, but this would literally solve everything.
No, they
I
can't
don't
Dark Knight
understand.
Rise it. They can't just take the bomb away.
Yeah, we need to have her fake out self-sacrifice.
Uh,
Um,
but yeah, I mean, realistically, she could have just chucked it really far into the sky where it
Well, yeah,
wouldn't
because
hurt
then it would have
anybody.
just gone off in the air, which, granted, that would still cause
it
some
would
I
have
degree
guess
been
of
we don't know
havoc.
what type of bomb. We don't know if it's a dirty bomb where it's got radiation,
Hey,
but
that's the movie's
his
problem, not
target was
ours.
just the building. So I don't know why he'd have a dirty bomb.
They could have played it off like a
A
Uh,
dirty
firework.
bomb.
yeah,
I'm a dirty bomb.
that's what they're called.
Also, she um a baseball reference, I guess, for Cubs. Swung the king out of the building, and then they just were like, "Oh yeah, we
he
apprehended him. We
defeated.
found him."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's defeated now. I'm like, wow, that was lucky, and it happened off
You
screen.
don't get to
That's
see
ballsy.
what he looks like, where he wound up, what damages his body. It's like, no, we got him. He's good. He's alive.
We,
he didn't break out of his cuffs or kill any of our officers. It's all right.
no.
Kind of continuing with Crab Booth's comedy that I somewhat enjoyed. When the boss is choking him out for having morals in the elevator, and he sets him down, he immediately turns to the other henchman behind him and says, "Thanks for the help."
Yeah.
I actually did chuckle at that because they didn't help.
That's that good old fashioned comedy right there.
I'm sorry they didn't kill him over pressing the elevator buttons.
That's what I was
He
gonna
did.
say. He's like, "Are you a traitor?" And he's like, "No, no, I work for you." And then immediately after that, he goes, "I'm gonna pull a Buddy the Elf and just press all the buttons."
See, the first time he did it, it could have, like, 50-50.
And somehow,
Could
and
have
somehow
gone
they
either way.
still, and somehow they still beat the heroes there.
Yeah.
That's
Then,
true.
It's a fast elevator.
then again, I don't know. Maybe they were running up the stairs. That would take them some time.
Hmm.
I'll leave this. I'll leave the
Hmm.
space there to imply the joke.
Yeah, it's
Good,
biting my tongue.
good. Good
Yeah,
written.
yeah. So,
I spotted a
then
continuity error, I think.
oh,
Maybe.
go on.
Or
Oh.
no, not a continuity error, just something really lame that happened. So when Emily's fighting the henchmen and tasing them, there's one henchman she tases, and behind him is another one who looks directly at her and then looks away like he's looking for her because she's still invisible.
Yeah.
I thought it was just dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Um,
It's the dumbest dumb.
yeah, we have the "you killed Kenny" joke. Uh,
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Good one, classic, stolen from South Park, a much better franchise than this.
It's only similar in the name,
Yeah, I know. Um,
to be fair, but yeah, go on.
I also this is the kind of the payoff of the Andrew joke that we get earlier, and I actually quite like it when he says when they're all squaring off about to fight. He says, "Ladies, meet the henchman," and Andrew just goes, just it starts to introduce himself, which I thought was fairly in character, and it did get me to laugh. That was my only time I laughed out loud.
They're going to say when he's like, "Was that Andrew? I wanted to kill him."
That was also good.
That was also good, but this is the only time that I laughed out loud at the film when he just introduced himself and like, because I found it funny. Most of the other jokes made me smirk. Most of the other jokes that I
Smirk.
liked who just made me
Had a
smirk and laugh.
big anime smirk.
Yeah, pretty much. The rest of the jokes I liked just made me smirk. This was the one that like made me laugh. And then
One out of
so while he
whatever.
introduces himself, everyone else pulls up their guns to shoot. Which
He's like,
by the
"What? Oh, yeah.
which invisible lady's dead because she doesn't get super strength or bulletproof, bullet resistance, whatever. Um,
You sure about that?"
I'm assuming so. Because the movie doesn't tell me otherwise, and they both have very distinctly different powers.
Yeah, it could be like, Invisible Woman where she creates, like, a field of invisibility around her that's a shield or
That's not
something.
shown.
Neither is most of the stuff in this
No.
movie.
They
True.
brought up that Lydia would have tough skin, but they did not bring up that
Yeah,
Emily would.
like so. I know Lydia would have bullet resistance to a degree. I just with her that was the problem.
It was too much on the
Uh,
VFX, and they couldn't afford it, and better
I
not to
mean, yeah,
show.
they went the lobster claws was practical, and that just had to be done, in CGI, I think, really, and they just couldn't afford
yeah.
it.
I thought the crab arms
No,
looked
I
I
fine.
like
think he was sarcastic. It
Oh,
was,
okay. I'm like being practical. I thought they were fine.
yeah, they were good.
So, what do we think about the fight as a whole here near the end?
It's kinda lame. I
Uh,
don't
Generic.
know.
dude, the cameraman was dolphin diving all over the place.
Yeah, the cameraman was doing his best to make the best work of it, but
He's like, okay,
not
you
enough.
I
punch, and it's like, I got to move the camera around to make it look cool.
I would have liked to have seen the behind the scenes of the shooting of this scene. Figure out, like, how if they did it all in, like, one go or if they actually had to set this up. I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
Mhm.
The Lydia fight, pretty generic, nothing special. The Emily fight, trash. I think this is one of the worst implementations of invisibility I've ever seen. She, it's she just doesn't utilize it in any cool way. She doesn't use it as like a really cool flanking device. She just walks up to people, tase, gotcha. Walk, 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 waddle, tase, gotcha.
Yeah,
Waddle.
pretty much.
I can't believe you said it. I can't believe
Well, also the
I'm glad
henchman,
you
she's
said it.
going in a line, basically, like just the next closest one in a
Uh,
little cubicle office room, like a little,
I mean,
Jesus.
walkway. How do you
even
not know where she
stormtroopers could do
is?
something with that. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm like, she's not Nightcrawler. She's not like poofing to the ceiling and back, and she's just walking.
Not good.
yeah, it isn't good. Um,
But as we know, I mean, it's shown henchmen don't want to help other henchmen,
No.
so they'll just let them get tased and wait their turn.
yeah, Crab
This
Booth
is
tried to bring them together, but
yeah.
Yeah, and then he crab walked behind some stairs and hid.
hid.
Hey, wouldn't
He's
you
like,
do the same thing?
yeah, I don't want any part of this. Thanks.
I'm just a good guy, forced into
It's
this bad situation because I'm a crab.
I'm sorry, I'm just a little crabby today.
Been said. The joke's been done now.
We gotta say it 7 more times to fit the movie.
I okay, speaking of, we didn't really cover this too much, but the dinner scene between him and Lydia
Yeah.
where he like
Yes.
he freaks out a little.
Oh, on the waiter.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, oh, we got a special like seafood tower,
Yeah.
It's
and he's
just
just like, really?
the waiter says, I have it written down. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't see your pincers.
Your pincers. But it's weird because he acts like he knows him in the beginning. Or like when the waiter comes over, he acts like they know each
I
other.
genuinely think that this was ad libbed. Like in the script, like he was an old friend, but they ad libbed. They just didn't find a new actor.
Yeah.
Between him, the guy playing the quote unquote owner, and the waiter.
That's the only possible thing that would logically make sense.
Could be.
Could
Could
be.
be.
Could be, couldn't be. I don't know.
It's also not a joke,
Also,
but
he's
they
not actually a crab, so I don't know why he'd have a problem with eating seafood.
no, he's half crab.
Quarter
Lived his life
crab?
as a
Grand.
man.
He's half Korean.
Yeah,
That's true. I didn't take that into account.
that's true.
That
Yeah.
actually was kind of funny. Sorry.
It was a
Slipped
little
little bit of
humorous the
that.
first time. Then they brought it back.
Actually, here's a question for all of you. What is your favorite joke in the film, if you have one?
Oh, I
Crimson.
already. Well, okay, Crimson. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I had it written down. This car makes me ovulate.
That was your favorite joke.
That was my favorite joke. As lowbrow as that is.
Well, technically, his favorite part was the dancing thing. That's not a joke. That's just a well,
I don't know if that
It's
counts
a
as a
way to
joke.
imply. It's a
it
way
does
to.
not.
It
Yeah,
was a way to symbolize the chemistry. It's more serviceable. Alright, Sinister is your favorite joke.
I don't know.
I know there's so many to choose from.
I no, it's just because I like the bad ones because they're so cringy. That's why I like them. I don't know. I
I
like
mean,
the
you can pick
Fortnite.
one.
I like the
I'm
Fortnite
not gonna.
one. I like the Fortnite one because it doesn't even try to know what it's referencing. I like that there.
You just explicitly state it. That's
It,
fair.
it's not funny objectively, but it's funny to me. So
And Sprinks, you said you already said yours. Yours was the
Yeah, mine was Laser calling herself a dog, and then Lydia calling her a bitch.
it was an actually good joke.
yeah, funny wordplay. That was decent. Um, I do. Uh, again, I think I just like Crab Boost deadpan humor. That really helps.
It was good, yeah.
When he got his hands ripped off and the heroes
Come
were picking
on.
the heroes were gonna go deal with the bomb, he was like, "I'd love an ambulance or a vet, marine
Or a marine
biologist."
biologist. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's I,
It was a good
honestly,
good collection of. I think that one made me smirk. Not didn't
I
laugh out
I
loud. But
I would have liked more of Jason Bateman.
Him and the daughter were the two good parts of this movie.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, when I saw him, I was like, oh, I like Jason Bateman, but I'm like, oh, they're probably just gonna use him as like some sort of prop or something, and guess he's gonna be like his one scene. And then I was actually surprised that they actually made
he
him come back, and
he actually has a subtle character arc.
yeah, he's actually pretty good. He's like, oh yeah, I'm not actually that bad of a guy. It's just circumstance or whatever. I'm like, oh,
Might be a bad guy, but I'm not a bad guy.
and Wreck-It Ralph. There we go. Okay,
Um, in the cafe when Laser, or right before Laser
Minor.
breaks in, uh, I can't remember Lydia. She was talking about how she can't see certain people do certain acts, like Obama vacuuming and stuff. When she brought up Eleanor Roosevelt flossing, is it teeth flossing or Fortnite flossing? What do you guys think?
I hate to say it, but this is actually a good question.
I have no idea.
I'd have to guess teeth flossing
Because it
it's
would have
Eleanor
to
Roosevelt.
be something that she'd actually have to do. Yeah, it'd have to be something that she would actually do, right? Not because Eleanor Roosevelt never like did the dance flossing.
I don't know, but it's what she can't picture her doing. She can't picture her
But
doing a dance,
Oh,
right?
can't
oh,
picture. Then
oh,
yeah, the dance. Sorry, I thought you meant actually doing. No.
yeah, because well, that's how they put it. Because like obviously Obama vacuumed sometime, but like that's not what you would picture him doing. They switched it up, so
Then
I
yes, I would
guess
say the dance.
dancing. Yeah, I guess the dance. But I also couldn't picture her flossing her teeth either.
All right. I was curious because that would just make another Fortnite reference. So.
Well, you can't have too many.
Oh, they only had like
only
5, so it's all right.
For
Oh
the
shit, there were 3 down.
for the gamer non-gamer, because I write a lot and I don't game enough. What is flossing in Fortnite?
Have fun
I,
looking that up.
yeah, look that. There's no way we can
It's a
describe it.
dance.
It's an
It's
emote.
a visual thing. Yeah,
So it is a dance. Okay.
yeah.
I
It's
assumed
a
it was an emote or something, but I assumed like if it was an actual like deeper reference, you would explain it. All right, fair enough.
yeah. No, yeah. It's a
Probably one of the more popular dances in the game.
I thought I got
yeah. I don't.
popularized by there was a kid on stage with a backpack that he did the dance and then they put that into the game, or if the game did it first. I don't know.
I
Most of the
think
Fortnite dances
that
were
was
done in the
after.
NFL first. I'm gonna say no.
That doesn't help the NFL.
No, it doesn't. Um,
Something I when the king grabbed the mic during the party part and like squeezes it and
It works
bends it,
just perfectly.
it still works fine. That mic would not work at all. Being a wireless mic, it would be destroyed.
Yep, I agree. And then he just like passes it off like, yeah, I just been doing the weights or whatever.
It was really short and abrupt. Just comes up and he's like,
Yep.
I'm great," and then here you go, and walks off.
I'm great.
We're here to celebrate my rival. Like, yeah. I kind of I can't say I enjoy the villainous plan or like it all that much, but I guess I was amused by it.
Well, because it's so
The
silly. I mean,
Yeah, like I'm gonna throw a party for my rival. I'm like, that could be seen as a very a good, very open gesture, but I don't know. The dialogue was so corny. I obviously I never even considered that what the public perception of it would be because the public perception of this film is fucking awful. Um,
Well, they saw the king as a good guy, so they
yeah,
wouldn't have thought
yeah,
twice about it.
the party's gonna be a blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like I said, it was stuff like that that I never really considered while watching it what the public perception would be. So yeah, you raised a fair point though. They
Yeah.
seem to like him.
well, he's the king.
Somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
he's charismatic for the most part.
He is
eh.
pretty decently charismatic. Yeah.
Oh, kind of a side tangent. Sinister, you brought up you like the actor who played the king, and I talked to
Yeah.
my sister about that actor and that he never is a leading role. Is he a leading role in anything?
I know he has had some. I don't. They're not like big stuff though. So he's usually like a supporting guy. He's like it's really weird. Uh, he's got a supporting role in the other guys. He's kind of like in the show Boardwalk Empire. I don't know if anybody here has seen that. It's all about like prohibition, in the 20s or 30s and 40s or whatever, mafia. You're freaking Al Capone, that sort of thing. He's in
Mhm.
that, and he plays. I think I can't remember, like Rossetti maybe. Um, he's kind of a big guy in the first like 2 or 3 seasons, I think, of that, and then he gets killed off, obviously. But yeah, I don't think he's ever been like a leading guy in anything like big. It's always like somewhat.
He was a
Okay.
sporting and
Anyway,
Ant
indie
Man.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the brother-in-law or whatever. Or the That's a weird relationship. He's the husband of his ex-wife and their
He's the
friends.
stepdad.
Oh, he kind of has a leading role in damn it, what is it? Keep going, and it'll come to
Okay.
me.
I guess while I'm perusing my notes, because I'm running out of them, I forgot there was one joke I did like. The Tom from accounting joke.
Oh,
Yeah, that was actually kind of funny. You can go
Uh,
now, Tom.
yeah, he was
oh,
on call the whole time.
only problem, only problem with that
Hmm?
is he sounded totally normal, so it didn't sound like it phased him at all, or that he heard anything. He didn't sell it enough.
Well, he's an
I think
accountant. He hears a lot of people hating him, probably.
also this is like day 40 of her being there, so
That's true.
she probably used her
I
abrasive
mean,
comments.
it's weird that she even knows the accountant.
Well, she's got to get paid.
Uh,
Yeah, the movie he was in was called Adult Beginners. By the way, it's called Adult Beginners.
Haven't heard of it.
I haven't heard of
It's
it.
it's pretty good.
I am out of my notes as well. How are you, Springs? You got any
I got
last?
one thing left to cover, I think, in my notes, which is the
All right,
ending. What
all right.
kind of ending was that?
What do you mean?
I'm like, that was the last scene. No,
Yeah.
I mean, up to the title card. I don't mean the whole
You don't mean
chicken
the
eating.
chicken?
No,
Yeah.
because I think that's like the first like after credits kind of post thing after the title. But just being like, hey, you got the bad guy. That's it. Thunder Force, yay! And then it ends.
No,
Laser's
so
still out there.
yeah,
So
I was just so
there
confused.
you
I'm like,
go.
this is what a lame ending. Yeah, I agree.
And like you brought up, Shrinks, we didn't even really see them apprehend the bad guy.
Yeah.
like an afterthought.
Well, that that
Yeah.
was the part in my mind that, or at that part where I'm like, that's the end of the movie. Who killed the parents? That was my. I'm like, we never found out.
The green flaming
That's
We're
my
obviously gonna
biggest
find out in the
question.
sequel.
Also,
Oh,
Probably
here's
gonna
an
find out.
interesting thing.
oh,
I'm
okay.
looking up to see if they had any plans for a sequel. Didn't see anything, but in lieu of eating raw chicken on screen, the cast ate really thinly sliced pears treated with citric acid and food coloring.
Oh, it was pears.
Those are
Pears,
those are pears. That's
Very floppy
interesting.
pears.
Yeah.
floppy pears.
Unless they CGI'd just the
No way.
the non-sternness of pears. Anyways,
Who knows?
yeah. Sinister, you got any final thoughts,
Uh,
sir? Before I might potentially move us over.
mm, Going through my mind, seeing if there's anything. I don't think so. Honestly, like most of this movie was just like joke filler with like a small story, so I think we
Yeah.
kind of covered everything.
All
I
right. Well, I
do have
guess
a
with the
question though.
oh
Oh, he's got a
oh, got a
question. Shoot.
question.
Does anyone find it convenient how many? It never really states at the beginning. Just meteor. I think it's a meteor that made all the
Yeah.
miscreants and whatnot. That so many reside in Chicago.
Having
Well, we
watched The
don't get a
Flash and
view
how
of the
many people
world.
reside in Starling City, uh, Central City, I'm not surprised. I just took that as a thing that happened.
Okay, I was just curious. I mean, it's the crab, the cane, laser. And that's it.
I mean, like if
Yeah.
that's it for Central City, God damn it, Chicago. Um,
Uh,
I,
And then the
I,
three heroes, but those
yeah,
are lab made.
yeah, those are not. Yeah,
yeah.
not,
You mean like you thought there was not enough, or you thought there
there's a
was too
lot.
Well,
many for one city?
I think it wasn't enough shown. If for one city it was fine. I don't think it was enough shown that there's like the reports of like, it made hundreds of miscreants and whatnot, and we don't know any. They don't talk about any of the other ones. All we know is the green fire one at the beginning, never shown. There's no
Yeah,
like, hey, we should call them back up. We can't because they're doing yada yada. Like, there's none of that.
Yada yada.
we could chalk. I would chalk that up to a world building problem because, like I said, we don't know functionally how the world functions. We barely know how Chicago functioned, and it's still questionable. We have no idea how the rest of the world
Yeah,
has reacted to this.
we have Laser who shoots blue lasers. We have the Keen who has super strength but only really uses to hug people, and then the Crab.
Who is half Korean?
Yeah,
Who, yeah, who wasn't even created from the meteor? It was from a crab.
Yeah, so that's uh,
Yeah.
world building problems, some plot baiting for sure. I would agree. Ow, that it's not my God, I hiccuped while in mid sentence. That didn't feel great. Yeah, I agree with you, Springs. It's definitely convenient. Then I would say it's odd. Well, I guess convenience not the right word. It just feels odd.
I
It
think
feels the world feels very underpopulated.
if they were to do a sequel and then they like, I don't know, Thunder Force turns a corner and there's 20 miscreants, it would blow my mind. Like, where were all these people in the first movie? What were they
Blow my
doing?
mind.
Honestly, if they were gonna do it, they'd have to do the freak of the week thing that the TV show Flash does, which they deal with a different superpowered metahuman every week kind of thing.
I mean, they could have had that as like a montage for training. Just go around taking all these like little no-name miscreants, and they could have had one of like a actor cameo.
Yeah, I would agree. That was what the montage should have been instead of like a time skip. They, them stopping bank robbers is great, but they also go out and stop like more than one miscreant. That would have helped at least give it the idea that the world is very populated with them. You know?
Also, was the crab working for the king when he was doing the convenience store robbery?
Yes.
That's how I saw it.
Yes, I believe he was. Because he's trying to get them to raise the fear in the populace so that he gets elected. That
Oh,
was the
okay,
whole.
okay. I was curious what was the purpose then to do it. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. His whole motivation with the crab and laser is they're supposed to terrify the populace so that he gets He gets their vote because he claims that he can be the only one to stop them.
gotcha.
Yes.
I looked up sociopath, and the normal, like, medical term is antisocial personality disorder. And there's more than 200,000 cases in the U.S. diagnosed every year. There would definitely be a good number, I would imagine, in Chicago, more than
You
just the
mean like
four.
Well,
you mean like sorry,
oh,
the
mm,
it only converts sociopaths because of that line at the beginning, like
Well,
they're
it
all
says
fucking.
that,
But
yeah,
that's what it said. It mutated the genes of sociopaths to give them powers.
that
Okay.
specifically sociopaths were susceptible to it, whereas normal
Oh
people
man,
were not.
America
Yeah.
fell in a day.
Yeah, I know.
Crimson, do you recall
Yeah.
where the meteor hit? Did it actually hit in Chicago?
No, I think it was
I
the Earth.
think it was pretty ambiguous.
It didn't specify whether it was global or not. I guess I figured it was global, but it didn't
I mean, what
If
say.
if
it
it was just
mutates,
Chicago?
if it just generally mutates the machine, the genes of sociopaths, it would be enough, no matter what city,
Okay.
pretty much to
So there could be
cause problem.
miscreants in, Zimbabwe and
Yeah,
Tokyo.
Zanzibar.
assuming it's worldwide. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's
It wasn't
sociopaths
even a
everywhere.
meteorite. It was a
I
massive
thought it
pulse
was a
of cosmic
radiation thing.
rays.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
right. Okay. I, I
Yeah.
I just keep thinking at the beginning. I thought it showed an asteroid, but I get maybe I'm
It could have
confused.
been an asteroid just flying by us, and that's what cooked us. I guess it's possible.
well, they say cosmic rays. Um, so yeah, that was one of my problems. I brought that up, Spring. So I thought after 20 plus years that the world would not look like our world today because it would have a lot of chaos. I kind of pictured it not to the extent, but kind of like Free Guy, where it's just chaos
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Wait, when does this movie take place?
Well, the
well,
incident happens in
the incident happened
1983.
in, yeah, 5 years pass when they're teenagers, I guess.
Well, yeah, the
And
parents
we
get
know
killed.
at
Yeah.
least 20 years has passed since they last talked. So at the bare earliest 2006, but looking at the
That's so
world, it
weird.
looks like a modern day to
It
me.
has Fortnite,
So
so it has to be when Fortnite came out.
Yeah,
which would
that's
be 2017.
There you go. Okay.
Um,
So
and it
miscreants
wasn't
has
even
been.
that popular yet at 2017.
I don't see
So
miscreants as that big of a problem then. If they've been around this many years and they're not taking over or changing the whole world.
I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying. It's kind of a world building problem here
yeah.
because I feel like it'd still be pretty chaotic, or they would just be gone by now. But, I don't know.
Also, wait, how old do you think the king is? Because if it goes back when it takes place of the
He's
beams
like in his
coming
30s,
down, he's in his 30s? So was
probably.
he like a 6-year-old
I don't think he's.
sociopath when the
Well,
rays hit?
sociopath, it's like a genetic thing, right? It's
Yeah,
not
these
something
were
you get over
yeah,
time.
these were
It's you're born
people
with
that
it.
were yeah, these were people who were genetically predisposed to be sociopaths
Yeah. So
right from the beginning.
you could be one and still
Well, I'm
have
just
the psychopath gene,
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
that's
there's
what
no
the
like
movie.
sociopath gene.
really old miscreant shown. It's Laser, Crab, and Keen. So are they all like teenagers?
Well,
But we
Well, the
also don't know
crab's
if
different. We don't know when Crab was. So
it's a one-time thing, like the event caused it, or it lingers, and every single day new miscreants are made. We don't know. We don't know any of that.
okay, well, I
really,
guess that
we don't
just
know.
fits onto the world building and writing aspect. So don't know if that changes anything for writer.
I mean, it's writing's not good. I guess with that, we can move into ratings and summaries.
All right.
Uh, let's see.
We want to.
throw a wrench in this works here. Let's go with Spriggs first.
First with my
He wasn't
rating,
expecting that.
I was not.
Oh, that's Springs has to set up the.
Don't
Oh,
worry, I
okay.
got it. I got it.
Oh,
I'm
I'm so
getting
sorry.
better. All right,
I
I'll
believe in you.
I'll start. Thank you. I'll start. I'll start with objective. I think this movie was portrayed fine. It its cameraman was decent. It was very normal shots, the action shots. He was doing a lot
But
of
a
the heavy
dolphin dive.
lifting. Yeah. The choreograph, it was okay. I guess some of the fights looked okay. The fake punch at the beginning, I'm gonna just put on child acting. Um, the music was fine. I mean, ACDC was present, and they had some licensed music, and the instrumental pieces didn't really hold that much value. It didn't sound like they had like a theme song or anything. It was very, very subtle. If my memory even can recall any that was actually played, was it all just silence? I can't even
There's
Um,
recall.
probably
I
something, but
the
I
the
only
don't
one
yeah.
that I can
remember
think
it.
of is when they're doing the hero walk, but it was very, very generic and bland.
All right, music was the licensed cool. The everything else, eh. Who composed it? I don't know. Certainly not people I would
Michael Jaquin.
talk about. It certainly was not. Otherwise, this would be a completely different part. What else we have? The lighting. Lighting was fine. Nothing bad with that. Makeup department. Crab looked cool. Costume department. I mean, the outfits they had for like Laser looked cool. The big frills she had. The Thunder Force costumes looked fine. It was interesting that they had like this double V logo, and then when Emily's daughter came in, she had the actual like T with the F, which was a completely better looking logo. But her outfit was never discussed when it was made. The logo change was never talked about. When she got her powers was never talked about, which goes into the writing, world building. Very bad. Don't like it at all. I think the genre mixing of comedy and action hero was like water and oil in this movie and didn't really blend very well. And a lot of the jokes did not hit with me at all. I was pretty much stoic faced throughout the whole film until one smirk of wordplay. I think the acting, some actors are far better than others in this movie. I don't really want to point fingers and tell people they were bad at acting, but some performances I think were better than others. Does that cover pretty much the editing? Ryder, you brought up a part that could have definitely been edited better to make more sense. There's some. I mean, I guess the jokes were just far too lengthy and brought up too many times. They could have cut a lot of it out.
Yeah, there's a
But
lot of like, please cut the scene.
yeah. So objectively, I'm going to give it a 6. And then subjectively, I did not like this movie. I don't think I ever need to see this movie again. It was a bit painful at times. It certainly fits with the season of bad things. I don't really know what else to touch on of stuff I don't like, so I'm giving it a 2.5.
Okay.
Nice. Crimson, why don't you go next?
All right. So I guess I'll start with objective. Uh, I will not hold my punches like springs. I think the actors for me, I think Mantis slash Laser didn't do very well in the acting department here,
I forget her name. Palm
which
something.
Yeah.
I
Palm.
don't know her name, but
Yeah.
which is unfortunate because she's good as Mantis, but in this, I don't think she performed very well. And Melissa McCarthy is Melissa McCarthy. She did try on a couple of the emotional bits, air quotes emotional, like her goodbye at the window with the bomb and stuff. That she tried. Real takeaway, I guess, is the daughter. She acted very well with all the emotion stuff she had to deal with. Nothing like sappy emotional, but everything she did was right. All the other actors, I think, was fine. The CGI was okay. There were some parts when, like, Melissa McCarthy was like chucked in the cafe across the room that didn't look good. The actual effects of the lasers looked good, except when they're grabbing people. But shouldn't have even been an ability of hers, anyways. Uh, the world building studio trash. Talked enough about that. Um, the character of the crab was good. I think Ryan brought up he had a nice little baby arc to him. He actually had good humor. Wasn't just situational humor, or not situational, observational humor. Uh, it was also situational humor. That's good to have. It's like the button pushing. Um, the humor in this humor is largely subjective, but I think you can objectively point out when a joke is too long, and there's a lot of jokes that play too long in this. So I think that that's a negative for it objectively.
I think that would fall under the writing.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, the actual main characters' stories, I guess, they're we brought up in the beginning they got characterized very early and quickly. I don't think it's so quick to it where it's a problem. It's just a little quick.
Yeah.
But throughout the rest, when they're adults, I don't feel like we get too much growth between them. We get some with Emily, where she's like learns to loosen up a little bit, but Lydia, I don't feel like she grew too much. Um, because she was always kind of aware of herself being the screw up. So
Mhm.
it's not like that realization was something big. It's something she was always aware of. So she didn't really do anything character wise that progressed herself. Emily did a little bit. Uh, the powers utilized, the invisibility was not good at all. Uh, I don't even. I think she should have just been like a Barbara Gordon. She should have been the tech person. I don't. She didn't need to be a fighter in the field. Wasn't utilized correctly. Melissa McCarthy's combat was okay, nothing special, and the dance was decently choreographed. The her spinning in the air looked not great, but that'll be that. So objectively, I think a 4 is fair here. Subjectively, I'm not watching this again. It was hard to listen to a lot of the jokes in this, and I will be giving it a 3.5. That's it.
Sinister.
Ugh, this is you know, overall, this movie to me is pretty. I think maybe just a little bit lower middle. I mean, I think it's got enough moments where it works for it to be at least somewhat engaging. Uh, that being said, I think about 60% of it is pretty either boring or just bad. Take your pick on which is worse. Um, the idea of it I like. I think it fits fairly well and just kind of like somewhat of a cliche, you know. Oh, wouldn't it be great if like superpowers only were given to like bad people? That would be awesome. Which I mean, yeah, is a good idea, even if I just said it really sarcastically. Um, so I think all in all, they had a good foundation here, and I think they just kind of either forcibly or unfortunately hammed up the writing a lot. I think they inserted a little bit too much of Melissa McCarthy's form of humor, which, if you like it, that's fine. For me, it's not really my cup of tea, but I can see why people like it. Um, I think they could have done a little bit more of a tonal balancing with that humor and some seriousness because they do have. I mean, like the first 5 minutes, you have a little girl's like family just get killed off by a with along with a bunch of other people on a train, and then a few months later they're making a joke about wanting to read instead of doing something else. So I don't know. That's a whole other department, I think, problem. But I liked Jason Bateman. I think he could have very easily just not done anything and just kind of gotten the paycheck or whatever, and it wouldn't really be much of a difference, I think. But he actually did the work and shined a little bit as hard as that would be, I think, to do in this movie. The daughter character for Emily Jr. We're calling her, even though we didn't remember her name, but unfortunately, they don't really say it that often. Uh, was also really good. I think she deserved a little bit more screen time and a little bit more uh decent writing, but I think for what she got, it was really good. I like Bobby Cannavale, but I think he kind of was given a really short end of the stick with really goofy writing unnecessarily for a villain character. So can't really compliment him too much other than just being in the movie. Everybody else, I think, was just I don't know. I think I like Octavia Spencer. I don't think this was the right environment for her to do really good work in. I think she could have done better. Uh, and Melissa McCarthy was just in everything, I think, around when this movie came out, and they just kind of went with her. And I know that they are friends in real life for like 20 years, but I didn't see that chemistry at work here at all. So, um, all that said and done, I think I feel comfortable giving this a 4. Um, yeah, a 4.
Guess that leaves me. Um, so I found the plot of this movie very simple, and that's fine. Problem is, it's like missing elements that would, I think, add more layers to the story. We've kind of beaten the world building being trashed to death, and it's true. Uh, there's a lot of we don't understand in terms of the mechanics of the world, and the pseudoscience they use is very uh, they do a good job of using real terms. The problem is because they use real terms, we can critique it objectively and stuff like that, and critique the quote unquote science of everything. Um, I'm gonna just skip right to the characters because I think this will also allow me to kind of branch off into different summaries if I need to. Um, I think I'm in agreement that I with everyone else here. I think that Jason Bateman's character, the crab, and the
Eh,
daughter,
Emily
Emmy
Jr.
Jr.
Yeah.
Um, I think they're probably both the strongest. They are the strongest characters in this movie. Um, and at least in Jason Bateman's case, he had most of the comedic lines that I enjoyed. I didn't laugh a lot in the film, but he got me to smirk a couple times and got me to laugh once, which is very bad for a comedy if they're not doing a job making you laugh or smirking throughout the film. Um, and in the case of Emily's daughter, I'll stay on Jason actually. And as it, he's the one that got like a nice subtle arc here from being kind of a villain to kind of like I don't want to do this anymore kind of shtick, which is always a decent arc to do. It's very basic, but I like the way it was. I like the way it was done. It wasn't uh ham-fisted or like kicking and screaming like uh it wasn't bad pretty much. Um and then in the case of Emily's daughter, she had a lot of good moments where the dialogue where the jokes were toned down finally, which is part of the reason why I really liked her character. Because she got the most element of like emotional weight then, emotionally resonant weight attached to her as a result. Um, and she has some good scenes with her mom and Lydia's character um, that really hold her up. I think. Um, and then with Lydia's characters as a characters had a lot of very interesting traits that she developed in the first 20 minutes. The problem is like most of them are dropped. There are like with the whole she being self-aware that she's the screw up could have played into the whole reason why she goes around repairing like the angel at the very beginning. But it might have played it could have played a role in where she um went to go fix her bus screw up when she threw the bus at the try to stop the bad guys, and it doesn't because I feels like a character trait that was just dropped. Um, and in the case of Emily, she's her best scenes are with her daughter. Um, I didn't feel the chemistry between her and Melissa McCarthy at all, the actresses, and it's kind of hard to watch in that way, uh, because they're supposed to be really really good friends, and then later on we're supposed to see them kind of trying to rekindle their friendship, but there's not really any of that. They're just like, well, we're stuck together now, and they don't really play on that of them trying to become friends again. The quote unquote the bonding moment they have is them just running away from their trainers, and that's pretty much it. We're just supposed to kind of treat them as friends now, like they've rekindled their friendship again. Um, and then we have the villains. I'll leave Crab out of this. Mayor, the King. Um, he was interesting concept, poor in execution. I think there's something they could have done with him trying to unionize, like in the way that uh, oh god, what's his name? Gorilla Grodd in the Justice League animated series brought the Legion of Doom together. He could have been the one trying to like bring all the miscreants under his roof and stuff like that, and to a degree, because that's kind of what they're trying to allude to with the fact that he's got the Crab and Laser working for him, but they don't really go anywhere with that, and he just turns into like a very very lame and generic villain by the end. And as Sinister pointed out, his tonally he didn't fit. Um, as for the comedy in a comedy movie, uh, most of it's too long, objectively, as Crimson stated, and it and what did land for me felt very very subjective because I enjoy the deadpan humor, and some of them were very well written, but even the jokes that I liked started to run on too long. Because timing is one of the few objective traits that you can factor into comedy, because the reaction is definitely subjective for the most part. Um, and yeah, I think objectively this movie is probably a three for me. Um, I'm glad it was not worse because world building was frustrating. Characters, there is something here for the characters. There's a foundation. There's just not they don't build off of it all that much, which is my main issue. And the plot is pretty basic as well. I'd rather watch the mayoral race in the Batman again. Um, subjectively, yeah, like everyone else here, never gonna watch this again. I'm gonna put this as a two, because don't like it.
All right.
Oh, made it.
We did
Can't
it.
wait to watch another Melissa McCarthy movie.
Yeah, please no.
Maybe
I
we'll
need a
watch a
break.
good one, like The Heat. That's a good one of yours.
Yeah, there's that one where she's like is it not like a ghostwriter, but like a fraudulent, like a ghostwriter where she like writes letters of like famous people that they didn't actually write or something. That I've heard that one was pretty good. It's
I
more of a
don't know.
serious, non-comedic one.
I have heard rumors of a good Melissa McCarthy movie that my mom watches. I'll probably have her recommend that to me, and I don't know, revisit her at
I
some point in
thought
the future. But
I thought identity theft was okay.
yeah. For now, though, I think
Identity
I'm just
thief.
gonna exercise my brain with House of the Dragon because I need to recover. uh, so if that is all, gentlemen, shall I read us out, or do you have
Yeah.
any closing thoughts? All right.
No.
Uh,
Yeah.
in that case, as always, you can find us on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Amazon, Castbox, and Pocket Casts. And we have our visual side too for on YouTube, the visual medium, where you can see us sitting around a table and yelling at each other. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to anything. And tell us your thoughts about the movie and tell us how much you hated our opinions and how much you love them. As always, I have been a geeky writer,
I'm Crimson Maroon.
I'm a character called Sinister Boy.
And I'm Sprinks.
and we'll catch you next time. Later, everybody.
Ooh, season 6, baby.
Woo!